Show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes, yes, yes. On a Friday, Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today. Still a feel-good Friday, even if it's a little bit rainy outside, and hopefully it's raining threes for the Kings tonight and not the Mavericks as it was on Tuesday. Still got some March Madness going. Arizona took me out of the running. Thank you very much for nothing. Bear down and bear out. Major League Baseball opening day still rolling along as well. We have updates on what the Giants and A's both did. Surprise, surprise. No W's for the teams out here in Northern California. At least the River Cats know how to win some baseball games. We will hear from Frankie Cardicelli a little bit later in the show, who was on location in Oakland. That's at 12:45. He was on location to talk A's and the vibes out there. Obviously, they had the boycott, and there were a lot of people outside of it. For reference, I think they clocked the amount of people at 13,500. And for reference, the River Cats Stadium, Sutter Health, holds 14,000. So I did think that was a little bit interesting to think, even on a bad day. Now, I get it, it's opening day, but even on a bad day, if they did come to Sacramento, which we know is a very polarizing subject, it would be popping out there. It would definitely be popping out there for most nights and most day games as well. But we start with Chris Watkins. How you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, it's good to have kind of just baseball back and in the rotation on the TV. Had the tournament pick back up last night. Gonna be actually at Fieldhouse on tomorrow. What is it? Today's Friday. Oh my gosh! So we're gonna
fly by.
Gonna be out there tomorrow. Hanging out and watching some tournament action. You can join me and Whitey Gleason out there. And then Sunday we got some more Kings games. So really feels like, again, the sports calendar is starting to pick back up. And we'll see. Kings only have 10 games left. 10 games.
Yeah.
9 after tonight. So it's getting good, but it's also starting to get tight, starting to get real tight around here, especially when you look at, just the standings as it is every game. But it just feels like things are getting really important. Every single game carries a little bit more weight here, and it's fun, it's exciting, but it can also be a bit nerve-wracking here as results start to not go your way.
916-339-1140. We're going to open up the phone lines here in the second segment as we start to talk about the Kings and what they can do to get this W tonight. We have some sound from our own Brendan Nunez, who was on the morning show with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, who asked Coach Mike Brown how can they be better at attacking Luka. So we will play some of that for you as well. And the Kings, let's not forget that the Kings can get that tiebreaker if they win tonight. And, realistically, they play some tough teams. But optimistically, this does put them back in the driver's seat with the Mavs if they take care of business.
Yeah.
Look, winning 10 games in a row is really tough. Are they probably going to do it? No. But technically, if they did, they're in.
Right.
So the idea that they don't control, if they win tonight and win 10 in a row, they're in.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is a good way of looking at it. Is at the very least, again, they will be in charge of themselves, and they will have no one else to blame but themselves. They will have no one else to congratulate but themselves. It will be all in their hands if they take care of business tonight. Like you said, it's probably not likely that they win 10 in a row. I wouldn't even put it. It's likely that they're going to hold on to that 6 seed, but at the same time, at the very least, all you can ask is to be in control of your own destiny. And at the very least, they will have that working for them if they win tonight. That is a big if.
That is a big if. But yeah, it's hard to sit there and say, okay, if you win tonight, and I'm looking here, and we'll get into pocket watching this, they're a half game back of the Suns, but do they have the tiebreaker with the Suns as well?
I believe it's tied at the moment.
It's tied. Yeah. It's tied. So you go in, you take care of business, you would have that tiebreaker over the Mavs, and we know the Suns have a tough road ahead as well. And all you can do at that point is just say, all right, We know what we got to do. And if it's not 10-0, it's just you just got to get hot.
Yeah.
That's one of these teams has to get hot. But the difference is if you win tonight to start the Heat, you would then take care of business on the Mavericks because you'd have that tiebreaker and you have another opportunity against the Suns.
Right.
A little bit, in early April. Yeah. So then you'd have that tiebreaker as well.
Right.
So it's all in front of you.
Yeah.
It's all in front of you. With everything that has happened, it is all in front of you. And we will have sound from Coach Mike Brown about being a 500 team and being over 500 and his expectations. And I'm going to tell you right now, we've already heard the sound, Chris and I. He says it without saying it that this is a process. Mm-hmm. And you can't sit there and raise tickets and say, hey, guys, we're really just trying to get to the first or second round, and it's a process here. You can't say that to fans, but they're saying it without saying it. They were not going to go from missing the playoffs for 16 years to a random 3 seed that everybody was excited about, and then the next season win the championship. Right. That wasn't going to happen. Yep. The question now becomes, and we'll do this more as the season comes to a close, but the question now becomes, what did you get out of this season? Mm-hmm. Did it feel like you took that next step? Yes. And as long as you felt like, and the thing is, that isn't quantifiable. You can't say that you can say that you took a next step without getting to the second round. We've had this conversation before. So we'll break all those things down. But yeah, Mike Brown was very open about the fact that this is a process. And as fans and as media, we all have to remember that as well.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, you laid it out perfectly. Like, they still are in year 2 right now of this whole process. And Mike Brown we played sound, I think, a couple weeks ago of him talking about how, Michael Malone didn't win a playoff or didn't even make the playoffs for his first couple of years. Jokic didn't make the playoffs or didn't make the second round for the first 7 years of his career. And then, you look at the situation the Kings are in now, and comparatively to that, it's like, yeah, we're ahead of schedule, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be able to skip steps along the way. There's just a process to these things. It gets uglier before it gets pretty. And, it's unfortunate, but you do have to take some lumps before you ultimately get to the final goal. And I think that's what we're seeing here. It hasn't been a pretty season. The jury is not out on how this year ends, though. They can still have a really, like you said, a positive end to this season, feel like you're building positive momentum into next year, and that makes this season completely successful. They just have to end it the right way, and we're seeing they're going to be faced with a lot of tough competition along the way. I think that's good in a way. You got to iron sharpens iron. You got to play some of the best teams. You get a real true barometer of where you're at, whereas if you're playing teams like the Jazz and the Blazers the entire time, sure, you beat up on a bunch of bad teams, but what does that really tell you in terms of how you stack up? So at the very least, we're going to get a good answer as to where they are in this process the rest of this season, but also how they end the playoffs. Like, will they make it through the play-in? I would say, just off of the conversations I've had with tons of different people this entire season, not a lot of people have faith that this team, if they make the play-in, will make it out of the play-in. Right. So if they do that, is that a positive? Is that positive momentum? Is that a successful season? I think the jury's still out of how we're going to feel about this season, even though right here, right now, I don't think many people feel great about how the season's gone because of the inconsistencies we've seen.
Yeah, every season is not created equal. Exactly. And we all have to keep that in mind. And really just taking a big picture, and trust me, we have 4 hours to break down how the Kings can get this done. We have tons of sound. We have tons of breakdowns. And we have some sound from Brandon Ayuk as well to get to you Niners fans out there with Nate behind the glass for us. But just to take a step back quickly, Chris, as far as being a Kings fan and taking into consideration everything that you've been through and everything that you haven't seen, isn't it still, and I hate to do and it might sound like participation trophy thing, but isn't it still nice to just have 10 games of high-level basketball where maybe you get your heart broken at the very end, maybe you get your heart broken tonight, but this is what comes with being a team with expectations. Right. You weren't getting your heart broken the last 15 years because you stunk.
This part of the season used to be a joke. This is where
it's time to do draft talk.
Literally, if let's act like this team has won 30 games or whatever, pushing towards 30 games, right now, today, I guarantee we would be talking about Davion Mitchell probably starting, Kessler Edwards getting minutes. Could we see Colby Jones? Hey, I want to see Keegan take 25 shots tonight to kind of get it going. Those were the kind of conversations that we would have at this point in the season. And, you're not talking about winning. You're talking about maybe looking competitive. You're talking about, Keegan had some really good moments on player X. That's what this part of the season used to be around. No one going to the game. It would be, 60% full in Sleep Train Arena, maybe a little bit more because we know Kings fans still showed up even back then. But yeah, no, you're totally right. Like this part of the season used to be, can we just end the year? Like this is fun watching these guys develop, but we're not doing anything. We're not playing for anything. We're just, if anything, we're looking at the draft picks. We're going on Tankathon every day and seeing if we can get the number one pick. This is, it's stressful. It's a lot more stressful than those kind of games, but you're right. Like this is what you sign up for. Yeah. This is what being a good team is about. It's about jockeying for position at the end of the year and really seeing what your team is made of. You watch these guys all year long build to this point right now. This is where your money is made. Let's go see what it's about. And I think it's right to kind of take that step back and look at where these guys have been and where they're at right now and just appreciate it. It is nice to really feel like we're in the thick, or we are right in the middle of what the biggest conversation in the NBA is about right now. Yeah. And that's this tight Western Conference.
As Tupac once said, all eyes on me. It's all eyes on Sacramento and the Kings as they try to get it done against the Mavs. Coming up next, a fellow host at Sactown Sports asked us a question, and we haven't been able to really do a lot of crosstalk with them, but it led to one of the best off-air crosstalks that we've had, and we will share with you who that was and what we talked about when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new oil for my truck. Really, I need a new truck.
Mobile One is giving away a 2024 Chevy Colorado ZR2. When you pick up 5 quarts of Mobile One full synthetic with an STP extended life oil filter for $35.99, you're entered for a chance to win.
Whoa.
Other prizes include a year's supply of Mobile One or a $100 gift card.
Never been so excited for an oil change.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
No purchase necessary. Terms at AutoZone.com. Ends 5/27/24.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free, so he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me.
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. See if you qualify to file for free at TurboTax.com. See max refund guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Join Chris Watkins and the Sactown Sports Street Team this Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub for some basketball madness and their mouthwatering full menu, 1310 Fulton Avenue. See you there.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
He may not be there when you call him, but he's always on time. That's Kyle Draper. By the way, let's get into it on a Friday. We did something a couple weeks ago where we had texters and callers in the Sac Chat. Shout out to the Sac Chat, by the way. We had texters and callers and Sac Chatters hitting us up with things that they hear from our own Kyle Draper.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. And
the potential for the best segment of all time.
Yes. And it was, it never rains in Los Angeles. That was one of them.
Yeah.
I forgot how it ends, but
it literally was raining that day too, I think is what he said.
Right, yeah. Yes, but it's raining tonight. So if you have any of Draper Drapisms, be sure to hit him up or come up with their own, and we will pitch them to Kyle Draper, and maybe you'll hear your saying on the broadcast. I'm trying to think of some myself. You know, he's almost in a way similar to Lil Wayne. Remember when Lil Wayne was all about the I'm hot, son, but much better than that.
Right.
So come in with those, and maybe you'll hear them tonight or whenever Drapes calls another one. Hit us up with some that you've heard from Drape to remind us of how funny and unique they are, or if you have your own, hit us up as well. But Kyle Draper, as he was getting ready for the show yesterday, and be sure to listen to the Drive guys. They are going to be on location as they are for every home game because we are the flagship for your Sacramento Kings. Kyle Draper, as we're just, getting ready, I'm grabbing my stuff and Chris is grabbing his stuff. He just drops a bomb on us, guys. 47 wins, successful season or not, right? That would be one less than they got last season.
Yep.
And Chris and Drapes did not fully agree. I was really just being the mediator there, just giving my take. I never really gave my take because we're in the middle of it. They're getting ready for their show. But essentially, and I'm not going to speak for Kyle Draper, but he felt as though 47 wins would be successful. And I'm not going to speak for you, Chris, but you felt differently about it.
Yeah, it's actually really funny because during the summer, me and Drapes did a couple shows together as well. We got into the same exact discussion, and we were on completely opposite sides of it. So it's actually really funny how things have turned in that manner. But Drapes was pretty much like, wow, like, you wouldn't say it's successful. And I was just like, I think, and like I just kind of put out, I think that there's chance for the end result to feel successful. But I think if you were to ask just as a blanket statement, 47 wins and the process of how the Kings got there, I think people would say this season didn't quite go how I would have wanted it to go. Even if like the 47, 48 wins is good enough for people, I think the process in which they got there, I don't think a lot of people have been happy with how the Kings have played this season, from, Kevin Huerter shooting lows to Keegan Murray shooting lows. Even though it's come with improved defense, I think people expected Keegan to still look like an elite shooter. And right now he just looks like he just looks like a good shooter. Harrison Barnes didn't really take a step up. Trey Lyles kind of had a quiet year. We've talked about all the additions: Sasha Vezenkov, Chris Duarte, JaVale McGee. None of those guys really made a massive impact. The 2 or 3 biggest bright spots, absolutely. De'Aaron has had close to a career year. The start of his season, 30 points, 40% from 3. We know he's tailed off since then, but even the fact that he reached those numbers, that's big. Sabonis's double-double streak, which is still going on, that's big. Malik took a major step up this year. That's great. But I think everything else hasn't really gone how everyone would have wanted. And I just feel like the regular season in general has been, I would say, unsuccessful.
916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. If you want to be a part of the conversation, if the Kings end with 47 wins, 1 win less than last season, would it still be considered a successful season? Here's the thing, Chris. How I took that when Drape said it to us, how I took that was that what you just did, you can't do, right? You can't look at the process. Somebody tells you in the summer that the Kings are going to end with 47 wins, and you don't get to ask any questions, not 2 truths and a lie. You don't get to ask any questions. So you have to answer. You just have to answer yes or no based on the number. You can't. It's hard to do because you saw it. But imagine that you didn't see it and someone said, hey, the Kings are going to end with 47 wins. Do you think that's successful or not? I know it's hard to do, but I think that's the spirit of it. And it would probably be the same answer.
I would definitely give the same answer.
Something didn't go right unless you want to have the conversation about how tough the West is. Now, you wouldn't know that they lost games to the Blazers and the Hornets, things like that. But ultimately, I think it would be tough. I think you would really want to ask questions.
I just don't think all 48 win seasons are created equal.
Right. Well,
like if the Bucks win 48, they're not going to be happy with, I just think that you have to know how they got there. And like, that's incredibly important. 47 wins. Well, was De'Aaron Fox gone for a stretch of time? Because 47 wins could be incredibly impressive if that's led by Sabonis and Keegan Murray and De'Aaron Fox missed 20 games. So I probably still, if you ask me in the preseason, even though I guess to that point, in the preseason, when me and Drapes had that initial conversation, my answer was yes. But even then it was yes, because I think this season isn't going to be like we talked about in the first segment. It's not about a championship. They're not winning a championship. So 47 wins or 48 wins is okay in the preseason, but was it all in the name of Keegan Murray's development?
Exactly.
Was it in the name of Malik getting more solidified in his role? Were there things along the way that, maybe they sacrificed some wins, but it was for the greater good of, now we're a legitimate defensive team. And, we might not be the dynamite offense we were last year, but we made such good improvements on the defensive end. That's going to do us so much good in the long run that it doesn't matter that we didn't end up maxing out our win potential.
Right. The correct answer to that question is it can be. Right. If someone says, hey, is 47 wins successful? It could be, or it can be. I just have to know more.
Yeah.
It depends on how we got there.
And even saying unsuccessful probably isn't fair. It's just not, it's not reaching what I think the baseline of expectation
They
was.
didn't take it. Does it feel when this ends, depending on how it ends, if they lose in the play-in, we know the answer.
Yeah.
If they win in the play-in, then lose in the first round, depending on how they lose, then the question is, does it feel like they took a step this season? Or some did, some didn't.
Right.
But I think, weirdly enough, if the season ended today, there would be more in the camp of, yes, they took a step than no.
Yeah.
You'd have De'Aaron Fox in his three-point range.
Yep.
You'd have found money, new money with Keon Ellis. You'd have Keegan Murray defensively. And, yes, he took a step back as far as the three-pointers, but he's still learning offensively as well. Those are the three things off the top of my head.
I would say so. Yeah.
And that's just what it is. So depending on how this thing, it still remains to be seen.
Yes, because the final result really does matter.
It does matter.
It matters a lot in terms of how we're going to view the entirety of the season.
Yeah, and that's the problem. We can sit there and say that the West is really tough, but the reason they're in this situation is not because the West is really tough.
Yeah.
They're in this situation because they tricked off games that they shouldn't have tricked off.
Exactly.
From the 9-1-6, they better get 45 wins. If they don't, I guess they got some cheese on this. Looks like my daughter won't be going to college. 9-1. we got. What was it? What is it? 1-800 Gambler.
Is that the over/under? That's actually really interesting. I'm going to look that up during the break. What was the Kings over/under at the start of the year?
Probably right there. When we return, we will hear from Brendan Nunez and Coach Mike Brown, who answered a question from Brendan about attacking Luka, and we will get into some of the game plan that you might see. Also, the Celtics, they're tripping. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Tuesday, the Kings got worked by the Dallas Mavericks. Tonight, Sacramento looks for some payback.
Pressure against Luka on a double-team blitz. Here's a Steve's got the rip with the left hand. Kings fans elated. Sacramento on top.
Join us on Sactown Sports for the Kings and Mavericks in a big-time battle in the Western Conference. Get all the action starting at 7 on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Hi, everyone. It's Emran Pilati, host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday at 10 a.m. Would you like a chance to meet Ricky Henderson, Dennis Rodman, Johnny Manziel, Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Dave Stewart, and our favorite Malik Monk, and meet over 90 sports card dealers all in one weekend? This is your chance to do it on May 17th through the 19th at the Roseville Fairgrounds at the Sacramento Autograph Expo. You can get all the information about the show on our website at sacautograph.expo.com. That's sacautograph.expo.com.
We love the game because anything can happen. There's no sure thing.
How did that go in?
Every play,
Oh my goodness!
every shot,
Are you kidding me?
every swing is a risk if you bet.
I can't believe that just happened.
There's no easy money. There's no luck. And no one wins all the time. If you bet, bet responsibly and always set a limit. Learn more at responsibleplay.org.
The Amish have a reputation for craftsmanship, determination, and quality. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. You know, those virtues sound quite similar to the Keys family and the day-to-day values on display at Naturewood. The Amish furniture craftsmanship begins with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into one-of-a-kind art. In addition to the classic styles long sought and revered by discriminating furniture lovers, Naturewood Home Furnishings offers a vast selection that includes transitional, modern, farmhouse, arts and crafts, and other stunning styles, all available in the ultimate Amish standard of excellence built over centuries. All Naturewood Amish furniture is on sale right now for a limited time. Let the Naturewood team guide you through their selection of Amish furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Hey guys, do you know your T-level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Revive's customized ED treatments can provide immediate results, restore blood flow naturally, and even bring spontaneity back into your love life. With both in-person and telemedicine appointments available, plus free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Having an optimal testosterone level can change your whole life, and it starts with knowing your T level. Take that first step and book your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation, and kickstart your treatment with a free supply of ED medication this month only. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Rivercats fans, it's time to celebrate our 25th anniversary in Sacramento. Regular season baseball returns to Sutter Health Park on Friday, March 29th. The opening weekend festivities include a live DJ and happy hour in Elysian Landing on Smud Orange Friday, Sandlot Night on Sutter Health Fireworks Saturday, and Easter at the Ballpark on Sunday Fun Day. To view the complete 2024 schedule and to purchase tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
How to stop Luka. How to stop Luka. Sometimes stopping Luka is also by making him work, but it's easier said than done. And Brendan Nunez, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, asked Coach Mike Brown about how they can be better at attacking Luka, and we'll have that sound for you in just a second. Off the top of my head, Chris, and we've went back and forth with this. We talked to Kevin Gray Jr., who does pre and post for the Mavs for their flagship.
That's right.
We have spent a lot of time on this, and I got to say, during off nights, I was thinking about this, and thanks for everybody who joined last night on Off Nights with Alan Stiles. I was thinking about this, Chris, and ultimately, man, I know the blitzing. I know how you feel about it. I know how LeBron feels about it. I get it. I really do. But when you don't have the requisite pieces to handle somebody like Luka, I don't know if you have a choice. So how I would go about it today is you pray, number one, and number two, Keegan Murray, let's see what you got, right? And if Keegan's getting cooked, you make and we talked about the halftime adjustments or lack thereof. If Keegan is getting cooked, you just throw as many bodies at Luka as possible. But if Luka's in without Kyrie, I'm blitzing. I just don't know if you have a choice. You can't blitz with Kyrie. I know that.
Yeah.
But if Luka is in without Kyrie and it looks like it's going to be one of those days again where you just can't stop him because he might be off. He might be off from three. Who knows? But if he's not, and Keegan is getting cooked, and that's the best that we have to offer. If Kyrie is not in, it's not that I disagree with you or LeBron. It's that I just don't know if you have a choice.
Well, no, I mean, even in the sound we played yesterday, I mean, they mentioned Luka because he is the most blitzed player in the NBA off of pick and roll. So like teams for the most part agree with you. It's just it doesn't make sense, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it because like you're kind of saying, I mean, you kind of are left without an option because I think I actually finished listening to their podcast last night, JJ and LeBron.
You love that pod.
I really do. And you really don't like it.
No,
you
really
really don't like it.
I just like being sarcastic about it.
No, you really don't like it. You really don't like JJ Redick. You don't like the fact that he likes to go in and inform people, you know.
No. It's all a bit.
Sure. No, and they even talk about like, you know, the one game where I think they said the Atlanta Hawks are the highest rated blitz team in the NBA. They blitz more than anybody else in the entire NBA. And when they played Dallas, they didn't blitz Luka. And you know what happened? Luka scored 73 points. And so it's like, it is truly a pick your poison of, look, we can blitz this guy and get the ball out of his hands. But what might happen is, Kyrie might hit some shots. Tim Hardaway, exactly what LeBron laid out the other day. Tim Hardaway hits 6 threes. Dante Exum will hit a couple threes. That's, to your point, that's got to be what you're praying for. That's got to be what you live with because that's really what it's about sometimes with the high level of basketball that Luka's able to play. And there's Giannis, there's Jokic, there's other guys in the NBA who can make you pay like this. But specifically with Luka, it's a pick your poison of you either hope that Dante Exum and Tim Hardaway Jr. beat you, or you can let Luka go ISO the entire game, and he's probably going to make you pay unless he's cold.
But now you're sending me in the other direction because we know the Atlanta Hawks defensively, and I know the Kings just now started playing good defense, but Luka is not putting up 7, and I know that it was a crazy game.
Yeah.
But Luka, even though he had 26 at halftime with a bad Achilles.
That's right.
Luka is not putting up 70 on the Kings.
Why not? Why not?
So he was on pace for
54
or 52.
52. You know, I mean, I'm more just trying to help. I'm arguing for you now.
And now I'm just stuck. Now I'm just Marin Morris, meet me in the middle. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to George, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, George? What you got for us?
Hey, thank you guys for taking my call. I really do not feel good about tonight's game. Last year was a little bit different. We surprised other teams. This year, they figured things out. All they needed to do is to really pressure Sabonis, and the team is frazzled. They do not know what else to do. The problem is that we always had this whole entire year, we always had 3 starters that are completely unreliable. The brass knew it from last year. They ignored it. And then they ignored it at the trade deadline. Everybody else, all the other good teams, they made themselves better. We stayed the same, and that is why I do not really feel good. We are going to stay with the 8th seed, and there is a good possibility we're not going to even make the playoff. I hate to say that, but I have to face the truth.
Thanks for the call, George. Yeah, it's tough. And at 11:30, we have some numbers for how the Mavs have done since the trade deadline and how the Kings have done since the trade deadline. and I'll ruin some of the teas. The Mavs have done much better than the Kings since the trade deadline, and they did make a move.
They got rid of their entire future, though.
The Mavs.
Yes, the Mavs did. Like, that's where I'm like, especially for the deadline stuff, it's like the prices were pretty insane.
The prices were insane.
3 second-round picks for Royce O'Neal. That's insane.
Yeah, but I'm not
And Dallas traded like 2027 first round. They don't have a pick after 2026. Like, they got rid of everything for Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. And you know where they're sitting? A game ahead of the Kings. Tonight it could be tied.
But Chris, this is what they would tell you. Not to say it's going to happen or not, but this is the idea this is the Lakers model, to where they're going to end the season playing good basketball and feel like going into next season they can start this way and not be in that situation. Will that be the case? I don't know.
Right.
But that's how the Mavs would sell it to you. 11:30.
Yeah.
11:30. Your thoughts on the Kings not making a move at the trade deadline. And yeah, it's a real thing. I get it. I get it on the side that you're talking about, because the prices were ridiculous. Blame Rudy Gobert and the Timberwolves. And now the problem with that is that the Timberwolves are good. If they stunk again, then everybody would say, okay,
Can't do that.
The problem is that it essentially worked.
Yeah.
And we'll see how much it worked. I guess right now we should pray that they get bounced in the first round.
I guess, right?
Because that would bring the prices down again. Hey, look at all this. Look at what they gave up, and they can't get past the first round. The best players on the team are guys that they already had.
Right.
And Rudy Gobert, who can turn into a liability in the playoffs. It would look really good for Rudy Gobert to look bad in the playoffs.
Yes.
And maybe that will bring this market back down to reality. I feel like we're in the big short and we're just waiting for the bubble to burst. But some teams didn't wait. Some teams didn't wait. And if the Mavs, if they get hot and they grab a 5 seed and they make some noise, yeah, Monty McNair is going to hear it, and that might drive the prices back up again, because somebody was willing to pay. And we know the Suns and what they gave up, like you said, to get Royce O'Neal. The Suns, that could help as well. Ultimately, I think this thing will even out a bit. But as far as the Kings not doing anything, and I think that's some of the argument. I know the Kessler Edwards move last year was barely a move, no disrespect to Kessler Edwards, but sometimes it's just about doing something. And the fact that they did nothing, I think fans have feelings about that. And I think Mike Brown got feelings about it, to be completely honest with you. He hasn't really hit it too well, if he was even trying to hide it. When we return, we hear from Coach Mike Brown. And also, somebody got fined a lot of money, but honestly, I think it's a pretty good deal. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
We are down to the final 10 games of the NBA's regular season, each one sharing in its importance, but tonight feels massive as the Kings host the Dallas Mavericks.
One dribble only. Hands it off to Fox. Great pass inside, and a twisting reverse is scored by Davion Mitchell.
Sacramento looks to take the season series and own the tiebreaker against the Mavs. Tip-off tonight at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
Timeshare trap and think there's no way out. Well, Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 35,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares, and they may be able to help you too. If you were misled into signing a timeshare agreement, that is a lifetime commitment. If you were told timeshare is a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, you need to get the facts about timeshare cancellation. For over 10 years, Wesley Financial Group has been dedicated to helping folks get out of a lifetime of debt by canceling their timeshares. So they created a timeshare exit information kit, which reveals how the timeshare industry works and what your options are for cancellation. Simply call Wesley right now, and they will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. See how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Again, 800-761-0000.
For a precision crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of.
Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Hello, I'm Frank Ockel with Retirement Security Center for the weekly economic update. The American home buying experience is likely to change dramatically due to new rules on how realtor compensation is paid. Prior to the changes, the commission was paid by the home seller, which covered the buyer's and seller's agent fees. The new rule now requires the buyer to pay the buyer's agent fees themselves. As fees are now more negotiable, realtor fees may reduce, but is home buying really going to become more affordable? Sellers could previously increase their asking price to cover the various fees, which could increase property values. Lowering property sales figures could possibly lower property tax revenue, which are based on sales prices. Lower compensation could lead to lower income tax receipts. With the buyer now covering this cost, Americans hoping to sell their home, downsize, and use some of those proceeds to cover retirement shortfalls could now see lower outcomes. Could the changes also be a roadblock for first-time home buyers? Those that can only afford small down payments are likely to feel the most pain. It could hurt homeowner diversity efforts as some demographics in the moderate to middle income may continue to lag compared to others. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-906-5382. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-906-5382 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-906-5382. 800-906-5382. 800-906.
Tonight, in a not a winner take all for the tiebreaker, but the Kings can get the tiebreaker and the Mavs would have a chance at getting the tiebreaker and would currently have it based on that breakdown having a better division record. So the Kings don't want to go down double trouble to the Mavs, lose another game, and also lose a tiebreaker. This game is huge, and in order to get the game, you have to stop Luka. Here is Coach Mike Brown, and he gets asked a question by our own Brendan Nunes about how they can be better at attacking Luka on the offensive end.
What do you think is the balance for you guys in making Dallas's stars work defensively, but also maintaining your offensive performance?
I think you can ask any of our guys. We can do it while still flying offensively. The way our actions are, if you have a good understanding of it or a good feel of it, you can get anybody involved every single time down the floor. And it can be like this if you're in tune to what's going on. And we have to do a better job of that, but our guys, again, it's part of the learning / growing experience that we're going through right now, and our guys are getting a little better every time they step out on the floor.
I don't know what that means. I have no clue what that means.
I mean, he's saying that, he's essentially saying it's on the players. Yet again, he is saying built in within our offense is opportunities for, if you see a mismatch, you can attack it, you can exploit it, but you have to recognize it. And to me, that's what I heard is him essentially saying it's already in the offense. It's not a matter of I need to call plays to attack those mismatches. It's those mismatches are there. The offense is already there to attack it. Those guys just have to see it and then attack it themselves, because if I start calling out for it, who knows? Maybe the defense catches on, maybe they shift around. He's essentially, again, as we talked about, I think a long time yesterday, this is Mike Brown saying, look, I've already done my side of things. I implemented the offense. I told them where things are supposed to go, where counters are, all this stuff. It's on them to essentially do the homework themselves and then be ready for when the test comes, because, as we know, teachers aren't going to be able to hold your hand throughout a test. And it's going to mean a lot more for the growth and development if you figure it out yourself than somebody spoon feeding you and holding your hand along the way. And that's what I heard. I essentially heard, look, it's out there. It's on the guys to go see it as well.
I don't know what's happening in the timeouts or the huddles, but do we not think that there's any sort of, and maybe there is, but do we not think there's any sort of guys? I mean, I'm getting real base. I mean, guys, hey, maybe look to get Luka in some more action here on that one piece of the offense where Keegan is coming up, yada, 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 whatever.
Sure.
Are we, maybe he's just not saying it to the media and doesn't want it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to at least think that they're not sitting in the timeout in silence.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, I guess he could say it in the huddles, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things discussed in there as well. A lot more, procedural stuff. I'm sure he could, but I mean, yeah, he might not be, but is that going to be, does that turn it on to Mike Brown's fault? Again, does he have to tell them every single thing that they need to be doing out there?
I mean, it's still a representation of him.
Sure. I'm not saying he doesn't have to go tell them, but I mean, yeah, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. I mean, it's built into the offense. So I think Mike Brown is saying I shouldn't have to regardless.
No, he shouldn't have to. But if he then, and we have this sound too, if he then is talking about we're early in the process and this is a process, maybe it's a little bit of a disconnect with how he thinks things should be going and where they're at in the process. Maybe he might feel like I don't have to tell them, but maybe he does have to tell them right now. Mm-hmm. And you could sit there and say, I mean, if things go awry and they end up losing, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how good it looks to go to your bosses and say, well, I told them what to do. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right. Or maybe at that point, is it Monty McNair? Because it's, hey, I think that if we have different players, this would have been more successful. I just know that if you sit there and say, if you are a manager, okay, if you're a manager and you and your boss says, hey, how come Allen didn't do X, Y, and Z? And you say, well, I told him what to do and I told him how to do it, but it didn't get done.
Yep.
That boss would say, well, did you remind him? Or what did you do to make sure it got done?
Sure.
But
every boss has different relationships with their employees.
Yeah.
So he might say, well, I trust Allen as an employee. I told him once. I didn't think I had to tell him a second time.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, after this conversation, I guarantee that film session went a whole lot different. I'm sure in the film he pointed out, here's a chance for us to attack Luka. If it doesn't happen tonight, sure, we can have the conversation.
Agreed.
But I think Mike Brown has shown time and time again, even with the closeouts, like he's going to let these guys fail and try and figure it out himself and then go back to the drawing board and say, man, I guess I really do have to take it back all the way to the basics, the fundamentals with this thing, because I thought that everybody had this general baseline knowledge that, hey, if this is a situation, this is what you do. But clearly that's not the case. And sometimes, yeah, you do have to take some lumps. And that was a really unfortunate lump to take if that's the case. But yeah, sometimes you do have to say this is the first time they've played Dallas in a while, was off a back-to-back. So maybe they couldn't fully implement game plans. Maybe now it's guys, like there's no reason for us to not attack Luka. Here's XYZ example of when we could have done it and how we could have attacked it. You know, I'm just not willing to go off and say this is, again, like a huge Mike Brown thing when I know this has been instructed of the team. He might be at fault for not reminding the team enough, but he's already shown time and time again, this is what he does. He coaches, he tells them what to do, and then puts it on the players to have the general basketball IQ to figure it out themselves. Because again, come playoff time, come Mike Brown talking about championships, in the final 5 minutes of a championship, Mike Brown's not going to be any help. It's all on the players at that point.
No. I hear you. Really, it just is a matter of how you feel as far as where they're at in the season, because I'm just at the point where it's all hands on deck. I think that in theory, yes, I shouldn't have to tell them, and I shouldn't have to do this, and I shouldn't have to do that. But to me, all that stuff goes out the window when you're staring the player in the face. I don't really care what you've been trying to do all season long. It's been somewhat successful, but you're also staring at the player in the face.
Sure.
So maybe, just maybe, you should try not try different things. I know you're so far in the season, but as far as it's on that, I would just be more hands-on in every way, and we'll see tonight. But I would just say at this point in time, you got to do whatever it takes to get in, and it's not the time to sit there and say, oh, well, I told them how to do this or I told them how to do that. We'll see tonight. We'll see tonight.
Yeah, I would also just say, like, maybe there's a chance that he was thinking, like, you know, the offense already isn't looking great. If I tell them, hey, specifically go try and attack this flow offense, which is already struggling to flow, really has no flow, because now they're only trying to attack that. And again, the best way of this offense working is for it to be in a rhythm, in a flow, and not necessarily fixating on one specific thing. And, you know, again, that you could argue that that's the offense at fault. You could argue it's Mike Brown at fault. You could pick and choose whoever you want to blame. But I think at the end of the day, the problem is that it wasn't done.
It just, yes. And we will see if they get it done tonight. When we return, someone got fined $50K, but was it worth it? Also, the Celtics are literally practicing during games, and Pocket Watch coming up as well. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online.
Yeah!
Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Sacramento sports fans, get ready to score big with the Sactown Sports live event calendar. We're bringing you the hottest acts and the biggest concerts all season long. First up, on May 10th, it's a night of laughs as Pete Davidson takes the stage at Hard Rock Live. It's comedy gold and a night you won't want to miss. Visit hardrockhotelsacramento.com for tickets. And June 8th, Live Nation brings NF to the Golden One Center as he lights up the stage with his high-energy performance. Visit Live Nation or Ticketmaster.com to score your tickets today. But wait, the fun doesn't stop there. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. It's a concert experience that'll rock your world. And looking ahead to August 22nd, get ready to kick up some dust with Creed Fisher at Ace of Spades, presented by Live Nation. Keep the adrenaline pumping, Sacramento. Visit SactownSports.com for all the details and ticket information. The Sactown Sports Live Events Calendar, your ultimate guide to the hottest shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sactown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Bogey Jones in the Daily Divot, golf is the best sport ever, and they provide a few reasons why. Some include no two courses are the same, so you'll never get bored. Some are wicked long. Others have super thick rough, and others have fast greens. Enjoy the variety. You can make the game competitive with anyone. With other sports, bigger, stronger, younger opponents may have an edge. In golf, different tees and a formal handicap system makes it competitive, even if you're a 30 handicap. Golf can't be conquered. One day you can't miss a shot, the next day you want to throw all your clubs into the lake. The unpredictability is fascinating, and age is just a number. You can play when you're 70 years old. In fact, some don't take up the game until later in life, but don't wait that long. And you'll meet amazing people, celebrities, athletes, successful CEOs. You never know who you'll meet on a golf course. And oh yeah, it's a game. So have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Guys, this month only, Revive Men's Health Sacramento offers qualified patients a free supply of ED medication to kickstart their treatment and enhance intimacy. Book your free T-check, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-365-4566 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Kelly Oubre was fined $50K for his antics in the game a couple nights ago. I believe it was against the Clippers. For the 76ers, Kelly Oubre, that's who he plays for. And Kelly Oubre, at the end of the game, it was a complete mess. And Kelly Oubre looks at all the refs. At one point, he was flipping off somebody on the floor. And he also, at the end of the game, with Nick Nurse, they're up in the ref's grill. And he looks at every single ref and says, "You're a B, you're a B, your mom's a B, your dad's a B. I think I even saw your grandmother's a B. Your grandfather's a B," so on and so forth.
Yeah, hit him with a half-baked. You're cool.
Yeah, and it went viral, of course. And to me, you look at Kelly Oubre's net worth, I've never seen anything like that, Chris. I actually thought he was going to get suspended. I mean, that was bad.
Yeah, he was in their face.
And you said that's what Mike Brown got in
50K.
total for the laptop night, where he kind of went at an official and then he showed the laptop. Mike Brown got $50K and Kelly Oubre got $50K. And I think if that's Adam Silver, who was at the game a couple nights ago for Sabonis the post-merger record, honestly, it feels like Adam Silver doesn't really mind that stuff. Because if he really minded this stuff, 50, it would be more. Chris, it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of typical Draymond stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great, definitely. You know, and the crazy thing is, too, kind of like the Draymond situation the other day, it was not that serious. Like, I mean, if you look at the replay of what Kelly Oubre was upset about, it was like this game winner that he missed a layup on and wanted a foul.
Mm-hmm.
But his attempt came about a full second after the buzzer had already gone off. And so it was just a whole weird fiasco in general. And, you know, I definitely think Kelly Oubre definitely got his money's worth out of it. It kind of feels like that did step over a line past just general referee disagreement or berating or anything like that. It did get personal. Yeah. Once you said, like you said, grandmas got brought up, mothers got brought into it. At that point, you know, I think that might deserve 100. I think that might be 100K.
I would say so.
You know?
I would say so. I mean, these guys got monopoly money, and I'm not trying to pocket watch, no pun intended. That's coming up next segment. But if you want this stuff to stop, if I'm Kelly Oubre, I'm thinking it was worth it. Everybody's talking about me, right? Tsunami Poppy. Everybody's talking about me.
Right.
I was the talk of the town everywhere. I'll probably get on a podcast about it, make some money off of that. It was worth it.
It was crazy. I don't know why Nick Nurse got the same fine too. If I'm Nick Nurse, I'm like, hey, you know what? You did get a 100K fine because you're going to pay my fine too. Okay. I just went out there and I wanted to know what was going on. You're back here, like you said, throwing your B. You got both of us suspended, pal. So yeah, if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm saying my fine is coming out of your check.
I would say the same thing.
Crazy.
So that was nuts. Also, what's nuts as you sit there and the rich get richer and the Kings are struggling to stay out of the play-in right now. So last night, the Celtics, I believe they may have lost 2 in a row now, and the Celtics are pretty close to clinching the 1 seed. They lost last night, and you had DeJounte Murray going full Kobe. I believe he scored 44 points on 44 shots. A lot of shots there.
Yeah, that is some Kobe stuff.
And he said, I don't necessarily like doing that. So the Celtics had a little mini series with the Hawks, and they lost both games. They beat the Bulls last Saturday. They lose to the Hawks on Monday, and then they lose to the Hawks yesterday. So literally the same setup as the Kings and Mavs. And Joe Mazzulla was asked about it, and he said one of the situations happening was that Porzingis was getting cooked. Porzingis, the unicorn, big dude, and he's trying to handle DeJounte Murray, who's one of the shiftiest guards in the league, was on the Kings' radar for a bit. Also, a couple other Western Conference teams. Joe Mazzulla, during the post-game presser, says the Celtics purposefully allowed Porzingis to defend DeJounte Murray on switches because it was good practice reps for 1 through 5 switching, of which the Celtics haven't done much.
Must be nice.
That's crazy. Is that crazy to say out loud?
I mean, it's a crazy flex. I don't think it's crazy to say out loud. I mean, it's the reality of their situation, man. Like what are they? 10 games, 15? They're 11 games above the second place team. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they've already clinched the number 1 seed. Yeah, they already clinched their conference.
Yeah.
So there's no concern on their end. They're already playing with house money.
Mm-hmm.
It's good news for the Kings, I guess, who's going to be going to Boston next week.
Keep practicing.
Yeah, keep practicing. Keep messing around. Hey, you guys want to try, I don't know, maybe you could do Peyton Pritchard at center? Who knows? While we're just getting
never
crazy,
know what could happen.
5-guard lineup. Okay, these are the things no one's trying out here, Joe. All right, we need some experimentation on your side. Really stretch the box. You're the Celtics, okay? Can you get a leprechaun out there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I think it's like I said, I think it's a great flex. The fact that you can really say, yeah, I know we lost tonight, but honestly, we were just trying some things out. I was just curious what it would look like.
Right.
Could he? You know, we always have conversations in our coaching room. Do you think we would be screwed if Porzingis had to guard a point guard? I say, you know what? Let's get an answer right now.
Only one way
to find out.
And they're not in a position to break any record like 73-9 or anything like that. So they're focused on one thing and one thing only. that's winning the championship. I think it looks great for the Celtics in that, hey, if Porzingis gets switched on a guard in the Eastern Conference Finals and he gets a block or a steal, Joe Mazzulla is going to look like a genius.
Yep, exactly.
We practice this, and they will, Sports Center and ESPN, they'll be all over this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I do got to give some credit to Joe Mazzulla, who I don't know how much you paid attention last year to like the discourse going on in Boston. Obviously, it was I don't even know how to describe that situation. Unprecedented, to say the least, that Joe Mazzulla walked into last year. They were not messing with your boy at all. They wanted him out of town. Get Brown out of town is nothing compared to, they called him Back Row Joe because they said he actually belongs in the second row of coaches and not being the head. Like they were just absolutely terrible to Joe Mazzulla last year. Surprise Boston. We know how those guys can be. But, he completely flipped it around this year, much like you talked about how the Timberwolves have kind of figured it out in their second year with Gobert, completely flipped around. And, the Celtics have been the best team in the NBA this entire season. They've earned this right to have 12 games to mess around with. But it is insane that they are, here we are talking about, we don't know if we're going to be in the 4 seed. We don't know if we're going to be in the 9 seed. And meanwhile, the Celtics are, they're playing 2K right now.
Are they at the point now where if you're saying stuff like that, out of all the years where the Celtics, it feels like they've been in a good position and they went to the finals and they stole a game in the Bay. They had a great position. Yep. Everybody thought they were going to win that one. Would they be the biggest letdown to not win it? It has to be them, right?
Yeah. I have not thought about it, but I'm sure they have. Yeah, absolutely. If you're taking 12 regular season games to mess around, experiment,
right,
you better be ready for the playoffs, man. There's no excuses. There better be nothing. They have more playoff experience than just about anybody but the Warriors. They've been to the conference finals, I think, every year of Tatum and Brown's career or something crazy like that. They've been to the finals, like you just said. There's no excuse. I mean, if at the very least they have to make the finals, but again, with them having such a clear and obvious advantage over everybody in the league this season, they should be the favorites easily. And, you think about the road it's going to take, the difference of the Celtics path to the finals versus whoever the hell makes it out of the West. Celtics are going to come out there. They're going to look like a quarter, they're going to look like Michigan going against Alcorn State or something like that. They're going to be completely clean. And then on the other side, those guys are going to look like they just got out of a Game of Thrones war or something like that, just happy to get to the finals and the bloodbath is over. Yeah, I mean, if it's not this year for the Celtics, I mean, we know that the pressure in Boston for that team to win is different than really anybody else. If it's not this year, you can maybe see some heads start to roll. Maybe they do start to explore Jaylen Brown trades. I know they just extended him, but there's been a lot of talk over the years of those two being split up. I wonder if that talk would intensify if they don't win a championship. Frankly, I mean, it feels like it's Super Bowl or bust for them.
Yeah, and the one good thing about this, to bring it back to the Kings, is the Kings are not there yet. It's not as if they had a season like they had with that on the line. There's only one thing. There's a couple of different ways we can look at this.
Yeah,
this season and be successful, right? The Celtics are past that.
Yep.
There's only
no moral victory.
No, there's zero. Especially once you get to the finals and you don't get it done. And yes, they've had some drama, but they go out, they get Porzingis, they get Drew Holiday. I mean, they have everything that you could ever want. And if Jason Tatum wants any shot at being the face of the NBA, whether he cares or not, that only he can answer that, they're going to have to get it done pretty soon here. And a little bit later in the show, we'll talk about another Eastern Conference team who's trying to level up, and it just kind of speaks to where we're at with a certain generation of players and just understanding that the young dudes are coming.
Yep.
And Luka is part of that group. And there are a lot of guys part of that group, whether you're in the East or you're in the West. I think the West is more ridiculous in who you have to deal with, and you have teams that you just haven't even been thinking about, and you have teams that you're going to have to think about. Wembanyama, they're not They're not going to waste
No.
Wembanyama. That goes without saying. They're going to make sure they bring him someone, and that's why I know NFL offseason has really done a good job to stay in the forefront of everyone's minds.
Yep.
But NBA off seasons are incredible, and it's going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy. But yeah, Kelly Oubre getting fined that $50K, and you have the Celtics who are literally practicing during games, and so early too. They're going to get bored, man. And now we're going to have the conversation of have they had not too much time off, because they're not off. But mentally, I like to go between the ears. Mentally, can you bring it let's do the math here. So everybody has about 10 games left.
Yep.
You're essentially locked in for your seed already.
Yep.
So you have 10 games to, I guess, pretend. That's kind of a long time.
It's a lot. Yeah, because you're not going to ever bring 100% intensity to any of these games, right?
Yeah.
And then also, since they are the 1 seed, they have to wait out the play-in as well. So you don't even know who your opponent is until maybe like 2 days before the series even starts.
So the last time this would have happened, I would assume somebody locking up a 1 seed this early would be the Warriors.
Yeah, probably Golden State. Yeah.
And what happened?
A lot of things have happened. Yeah.
They did not win the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
The last time somebody locked up a 1 seed this early, they didn't win the championship. Now, very different situations. They don't have Draymond Green to get ejected, but there is something to be said about turning it off for so long, then turning it back on. We got pocket watching up next. Kings sitting in the A seed with so many games on the horizon. Also, Sam Amick breaks down the team's remaining schedule. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
We are down to the final 10 games of the NBA's regular season, each one sharing in its importance, but tonight feels massive as the Kings host the Dallas Mavericks.
One dribble only, hands it off to Fox. Great pass inside, and a twisting reverse is scored by Davion Mitchell.
Sacramento looks to take the season series and own the tiebreaker against the Mavs. Tip-off tonight at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join Chris Watkins and the Sactown Sports Street Team this Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub for some basketball madness and their mouth-watering full menu, 1310 Fulton Avenue. See you there.
This is Sactown Sports.
Let this ride a little bit. I feel like I'm back in high school.
I was going to say, does it get your
about to make the same mistake
rap
again?
battle?
That's right.
I can't believe that was true. I thought you were lying when you said, "Oh, I was at a Catholic school, and so I was afraid to cuss." I was like, I went to a Catholic school too, and let me tell you, we were not afraid to. I mean, I can maybe imagine if everyone's huddled around you, you might be afraid of teachers or.
Well, what's it called? What's it called? The middle.
Chris, you're in South Sac though. That doesn't count.
Well, what you're saying that you guys would? I mean,
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
It's a spicy Friday.
No.
So it was in the courtyard, the common area.
Sure.
And there was a rap battle, and I was known to get on the mic. Me and Brendan Nunez, we got to have it out.
Sizzle.
A Sizzle was really going down, and everyone's like, "Alan, you got to do it. You got to do it." And I was trying to go off the top of the dome.
Right.
The other dude He actually
pulled a Drake. He pulled out his BlackBerry or something.
He had something memorized, and he actually hollered at me on Twitter a couple days ago. I haven't heard from this dude in over 15 years, and he somehow it came out. It was something embarrassing that happened in school, and he shouted me out. But so I get up there, and they're like, Alan. I mean, it was literally 8 Mile. Rip them.
It's your time.
Rip them. It's your time.
And you were known for.
Yeah. In my circle, you know, and rip him, Alan. And I was, I think, a sophomore. And
was he a sophomore?
And this dude is a freshman.
Dude.
So he comes
out.
So he comes out and he has something. He's not even talking to me.
Right.
He's just saying his rap.
Right.
And they're like, Alan, rip him, Alan, rip him.
Get him!
And I'm just thinking, if something comes out here that shouldn't come out, the repercussions. You got, father, whoever. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Right.
And I sat there and I just went straight up B Rabbit, and I said nothing, nada.
Dude, that's
and I gave the mic, and it was so embarrassing going to the next class. I still got voted to do announcements junior year. I rebranded pretty well.
Yeah,
you would have put that priest in a really weird spot where he was like, that kid did cuss, but that bar was fire, so we got to let it slip. That's tough.
You put on the suit and tie. You did the old Harrison Barnes.
I mean, there were definitely a couple other situations where tried to do things and it didn't go the way they would have hoped. They had a dance competition, and you could probably figure this out.
You did that?
And no, I didn't do that. But the ladies from across the street came over, and the dance it didn't go the way it was supposed to, and they shut down the competition. Right. So it's tough, man. It's tough. But that's what happened.
That's tough. Yeah, I could definitely see how that's a tough situation. I just can't believe that you froze. I just really, that just doesn't feel like you.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Well, you've really grown. I mean,
it was right there in the middle of the quad. It was in the quad. And, I wasn't even necessarily nervous. I don't know what happened.
No, I get it. Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Those are moments, it's silly, but define who you become. Like when you make mistakes like that, how do I bounce back? Like
how do I bounce back?
How do I do anything?
And at all the house parties, I was always just ripping and shredding and ripping.
Yeah.
Are we talking like actual flowing, or are we doing like a rap battle? Like, yo, shirt, it makes me sick. Get fire like a bick.
See, that's even sketchy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, are we talking like those, or are we,
This is my favorite shirt. My favorite drink is Squirt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Because that is your favorite.
Well,
drink.
yeah. I mean, you're looking at them. You try to throw in some things.
Right.
But, most of it is pretty random.
Right.
They know me around here. And it's like Concord. So it's not really.
Well,
shout out
wrong
Turtle
part
Creek.
Of Concord.
Wrong part of Concord. That's anywhere.
The audience doesn't get the sweet treats I get of every beat I play coming back. Alan.
Yeah,
I'm not going to peel back the curtain on that because that's just for us.
That's for you.
Yes. Well, Nate will hear some a sizzle every now and then, and hopefully it is hot in the arena tonight as far as the 3-point shooting for the Kings, because they're going to need it, Chris, as Sam Amick also had some things to say about the remaining schedules. It's going to be tough, man, and we already realized that. I told you this much, and I'll continue to say it because we're not going to be on again, but that Sunday game scares me a lot. I don't like the Sunday games. 4-4 on Sundays. They are 10-2 on Fridays, so that does help the Kings, or bodes in the Kings' favor. Clippers at Magic tonight. So Orlando's had a rough stretch. It's just every West Coast team just going to play Orlando.
They're East Phoenix, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So
in a lot of ways.
They get the Clippers tonight, and the Lakers hang out with Mr. Halliburton in Indiana. The Lakers take on the Pacers. Warriors get an easy one on paper. They go to Charlotte, Steph's hometown. He's been struggling lately. He did kick a chair. Home. So we're not doing prop talk now, but I would say Steph over. Steph over at home after kicking a chair, and he's been cold. He goes home. Actually, and Seth is on the Hornets now.
And his dad's a broadcaster. Well, so it's a whole family affair.
I would definitely take the over for prop talk on Steph. We also have the Suns. Who do they have today? Suns at Thunder.
Oh, I was going to guess. Yeah, I was going to guess the Celtics, maybe the 95 Bulls.
Yeah, exactly. So Suns at Thunder after beating the Nuggets. The Suns look to keep rolling there. The Timberwolves have to head to Denver to take on the Nuggets, and that's actually a huge game, and it does connect to the Kings as far as getting that 6th seed. Who do you want to face if you do get the 6th seed in that 3 seed? So Timberwolves at Nuggets, that will be a tough one. Nuggets, no Jamal Murray when they lost to the Suns, by the way, so not sure if he's going to play tonight as well. And Rockets at Jazz as the Rockets look to keep pace with the Golden State Warriors. And, of course, Mavericks at Kings. This is a nice slate tonight.
It really doesn't get much better for a Friday. I mean, pick your poison. 4 o'clock, you got Lakers, Indy. You got Clippers, Orlando. 5 o'clock, you've got OKC, Phoenix. 6 o'clock, you got Denver, Minnesota, and then 7 o'clock, you got the main feature in Sacramento, Dallas. It's not really much better you can ask for. And I mean, just in terms of if you're watching the Western Conference standings, tonight's going to be one of those days where you might just need to wait till Monday to look at the standings, because there's going to be so much fluctuation with what goes on. The Kings play tonight and Sunday. I think there's a couple other teams that have 2 games this weekend as well. So it's going to be nuts in terms of standing watch. And then, as we get into next week, man, this thing is going to be moving quickly. We're going to have, 8 games left when we come back on Monday. This thing, we keep talking about it being a sprint. We're going to truly be 2 weeks away from the final regular season game of the season. And I can't wait, but at the same time, man, I'm really nervous for how these next couple games are going to go, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's tough. And the Kings are in a position where there's just no room for error.
Nothing.
That's why we would get so upset throughout the season, because we knew that something like this could happen. And at the time, we didn't even know how the season was going to end as far as the schedule. We hadn't even looked at the schedule.
People were mad at us, boy.
They were mad. Hey, there's a long season. There's this to that. We get all that. And now look at us. The Kings are going to have to go on a heater if they want to stay out of the play. And when we return, the Sixers are looking to get a star to pair up with their stars out there in Philly. What does that say about where we're at in this NBA generation with the over 30-year-old ballers? And what does this mean for the Kings and the future of their championship run, hopefully? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Fox now on the left angle, gets to 2-point range, lobs it out to Herter, wide open. 3 to seal the deal. He's got the triple, and Fox has a career-high 16th assist.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-906-5382. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-906-5382 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-906-5382. 800-906-5382. 800-906-5382.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Fidium Fiber, Dawson Oil Company, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling.
Maida Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado LT and RST half-ton diesel in stock after rebates. A Maida Chevy exclusive. See all the truck season savings at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/24.
Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because, I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Jeep Celebration event?
Save big on your next off-road adventure when you get $15,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2023 Jeep Gladiator Sport, Rubicon, and Mojave. You pick.
My wife has one of those Jeep Gladiator trucks, and she loves it.
Everyone I know that has a Gladiator loves them. And we have 16 to choose from. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or fees. At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
This savings can't last long. Don't miss your chance to save big with Hoblet. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$15,000 in total net savings after national standalone 15% of MSRP factory rebate. Sample VIN 566279. 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon with $94.94 factory rebates and $55.06 dealer discount. $15,000 total net savings, 5 at each net savings. See dealer for details.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
I got some, I don't know, bad news, but I don't like it personally. And somebody on the text line inspired this from the 530, talking about the odds and the line. That's and right. We have a problem. We have a problem. I'm here on VegasInsider.com, and I'm looking at Bet365. I'm looking at FanDuel. I'm looking at DraftKings.
What a great website. We're not sponsored by them, but they give a lot of good info.
I'm seeing Kings. Yesterday, it was Kings +1, and I was very excited, and Chris didn't understand why I was so excited. Wake up this morning. I don't know what happened, but the Kings are now 1-point favorites. ESPN has them as 1.5-point favorites. And I don't like this at all.
Don't get it.
I don't like this. Stay underdogs. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sure they would consider themselves the underdogs. Isn't that all that really matters? Forget Vegas. Like, they just got beat by 36 points.
It's also the money, too, where it's going. It's not that necessarily people think. I mean, it's just could have been.
I just liked it where it was.
Okay. All right.
I just liked it where it was, man. And now we got to deal with the Kings as favorites.
But they're not favorites. Everybody on that floor knows that the Kings aren't favorites. You just got beat by 36 points on your home floor. There is no way that the Kings are walking out on the floor tonight and feeling like, I'm sure they're feeling like, hey, we can and should win this game, but they're not thinking, hey, we are definitely the ones that most people should pick. Mm-hmm. You don't lose by 36 to a team and then 3 days later get to say, we're actually the better team.
I don't feel good about it, Chris.
Okay, that's fine.
That's just where I'm at.
Fine.
I know we touched on it earlier in the show, but you guys were talking about do you want to know the Kings over-under set for the season by the DraftKings?
Yes.
Would you like to guess actually first?
I think we actually know.
Yeah.
Oh,
somebody told us on the text line.
Oh, cheaters. 44.5.
44.5.
That's crazy.
And last year, I think it was 36.5. Oof. And maybe somebody who's sitting in this booth took that before the season started last year.
Wow.
Well, whoever that person is, good on them. 916-339-1140. All guests and callers, join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to JR, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, JR? What you got for us?
Hey, afternoon delight. What's up, Stiles Watkins?
What's up, JR?
Are you really talking about a wrap-off between Christian Brothers and De La Salle?
No.
Is that what we...
No.
Is that what...
No.
We were all at
like.
De La Salle together.
Okay. Well, as a Sarah graduate, I want in on that trifecta. We're going to do Catholic boys' schools wrapping off with would you, could you in a box, would you, could you with a box.
That's literally what I would have had to say, yes.
Yes. Here or there, anywhere. Hey, you know what? I had a different take, but I agree with you. I don't like being the favorite. That is just something, too, that I look at and I'm like, yeah, I don't need people believing in us and betting on us.
That's what I'm saying.
You guys are scored. I agree with it. Because the refs read that crap, and Adam's out there saying, hey, if it's said this way, let's make sure it's even, boys. Keep it even, and they're handing them 20s under the table. I mean, that's how the Lakers get all their free throws.
Yeah.
It's whatever the line is, and then they bet it. Hey.
You guys are hurt. You sound hurt.
I hope not, JR.
I am hurt. I'm hurt deep down inside, wet blanket. Emotionally, I am hurt. I love this show. Have a good weekend.
We love you, JR.
Thanks, JR. I'm telling you, man, I don't feel good about it.
It's fine. I totally understand it. I just don't. I just can't let myself believe.
No, and you shouldn't.
Yeah, it feels like I already have enough doubt about these guys. I don't need to, creep in, betting lines and things like that into it as well.
And
I'm just gonna lose it.
Yeah, and we were kind of going back and forth. I think you got deeper into it than I did about the Sam Amick article where he talks about the Mavericks and remaining schedules. What was your biggest takeaway from that?
Yeah, I mean, Sam really just more mentions the fact that nobody's talking about the fact that Dallas, like we talked about the other day before, it must have been Monday or Tuesday in the ramp up to that first game, just how their defense has really turned the corner and how that's been the biggest difference. That's really a big bulk of the article, is just how much better Dallas could potentially be. You mentioned earlier in the show how they're kind of turning into the Lakers of last year, where they're getting hot and their record doesn't really show maybe how good it would have been if they were this team for the entire season. It really is a lot about that. But then the last portion, I'll say, of the article is really just Sam breaking down the remaining schedule. No, I wouldn't really say breaking it down, but more just showing how many games the teams have left versus how many are versus winning teams, and then just a little bit of a paragraph about how that the rest of the season might go. But just to kind of go through some of the numbers, Clippers 10 games left, 7 of those games versus winning teams. Pelicans 9 games left, 7 of those versus winning teams. Mavericks 10 games left, 7 versus winning teams. Phoenix, we know how that goes, 9 games left. Yes, all 9 are against winning teams. Kings have 10, 7 against winning teams. Let's see here. Lakers have 9, 5 actually against winning teams, and the Warriors as well, 10 games with 5 versus winning teams. If anything, when I did read that, I know I've been talking a lot about how the Kings have a significantly harder schedule than Dallas, and I think you even correctly pointed out yesterday, and our guest did as well. The Dallas Mavericks do have the 7 winning opponents for Dallas as well. It didn't feel like that when you look at it, but it is correct in saying that, the Warriors are still a team that's fighting for their play-in lives. The Houston is a team that's fighting to get over the hump and take out Golden State. They still have some good opponents. And so when I saw it broken down as cut and dry as that, without looking at the teams themselves and having those kind of thoughts and just looking at the raw numbers, I guess it really isn't as dire as what maybe I've been presenting it as. It's still not favored for the Kings, but it's really not as drastic as maybe what I've been laying out.
Basically, what it is the Kings have 1, 2, 3. The Kings have 3 stinkers left. Okay, and the Jazz they're on the line of stinker, but you have to count them. The Kings have the 3 stinkers. The Jazz, because they both have 10 games left, the Jazz, the Nets, and the Blazers. They have 3 stinkers, right? The Mavericks have the Hornets, the Pistons, and the Hawks.
Right.
So they both only have 3 stinkers.
Yeah.
The difference is the middle ground. The difference is the Kings have to face Boston, and meanwhile, the Mavericks have the Warriors, right? But they both have to face the Thunder again. The Kings have a Suns game mixed in, whereas
and a Pelicans,
whereas the Mavericks have the Heat, and they play the Warriors twice. They have the Heat, and they have
the Rockets twice,
and they have the Rockets twice.
Yeah.
So it is closer than you think.
Yeah. I feel like maybe I've been. I still think Dallas has the easier schedule, but. All things being equal, it still is really, really tough. Dallas still has opponents that are playing for things like very, very serious things. And, you can maybe even downgrade the Kings game against the Celtics because of what we just talked about in that first segment of 11 o'clock where, the Celtics are kind of experimenting. They've got nothing to play for really the rest of this season. So maybe that Celtics game doesn't carry as much weight as maybe what it looks like it would if you just look at the schedule. And so, maybe I'm starting to feel a little bit more optimistic about the Kings' chances. And also you have situations like last night where you look at, who was it who played the Bucks yesterday? Was it the Pelicans? Pelicans play the Bucks yesterday. The Suns, when they play the Nuggets, you look at those and you say, okay, they should probably lose those games. Mm-hmm. Well, it might not go that way. Yeah. And so, there still is, those kind of hopes left for the Kings, even if this thing does end up square with 9 games to go. Again, maybe I'm just starting to be a little bit less pessimistic about the Kings the rest of the way, but I would say I would give Dallas the upper hand if they are tied after tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that the Kings have to play the best basketball of the season starting tonight.
Yep.
It doesn't change that.
Fact. That is just a fact.
All it changes is that the Mavericks might help a little bit more than you initially thought.
Yes.
But either way, you have to win games that we probably wouldn't have picked you to win throughout the whole season.
Yep.
And we're going to have to talk ourselves into it because we have no choice. Yep. That's who's in front of you. And maybe you get a Celtics team. Maybe somebody, Joe Mazzulla, maybe somebody like Sacramento, and they decide that they're going to rest their guys on that day. Who knows? They got enough time to mess around with different things. You never know. So
test lineups, different things. Lineups. Yeah, hey, Jason Tatum, what if he misses a game in the playoffs? So let's test that out.
That's a game, and I'll check this real quick, and maybe
it is the second night of a back-to-back for the Kings. So
it is for the Kings. I'm trying to figure out if
the Celtics played 2 days before that.
They played 2 days before against the Thunder, so you never know.
Never know.
Right? Ultimately, you got to take care of business one way or the other, but it is not as dire after this win as we thought. And you can talk yourself into anything, and that's what we have to do since the Kings decided to lose by 36 points. When we get back, we will talk about regrets for the trade deadline. We will also hear from Coach Mike Brown on hearing about the Kings' 10th season over 500 and whether or not he cares. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Hi, everyone. It's Emran Pilati, host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday at 10 a.m. Would you like a chance to meet Ricky Henderson, Dennis Rodman, Johnny Manziel, Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Dave Stewart, and our favorite Malik Monk, and meet over 90 sports card dealers all in one weekend? This is your chance to do it on May 17th through the 19th at the Roseville Fairgrounds at the Sacramento Autograph Expo. You can get all the information about the show on our website at sacautograph.expo.com. That's sacautograph.expo.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? And you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Rivercats fans, it's time to celebrate our 25th anniversary in Sacramento. Regular season baseball returns to Sutter Health Park on Friday, March 29th. The opening weekend festivities include a live DJ and happy hour in Elysian Landing on Smud Orange Friday, Sandlot Night on Sutter Health Fireworks Saturday, and Easter at the Ballpark on Sunday Fun Day. To view the complete 2024 schedule and to purchase tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
The weather's warming up, spring is here, and so is road trip season. And if you're saying, yeah, sure, I would love to load everything up in my car and hit the road and go on a long road trip, but I don't trust my car. It's not dependable. Well, then go see my friends at Elk Grove Kia. They'll get you into something dependable and super affordable, like a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for $19,988. Yep, at a time when the average new car price is over $48,000, Elk Grove Kia can get you into a brand new car for less than half of that. This car's loaded with automatic transmission, an 8-inch touchscreen with rear camera. It's got advanced driver assistance system, so it's got tech and safety. And again, this brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS can be yours for only $19,988. Only at the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer, Elk Grove Kia, in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, and online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia sale price, $20,738. Kia rebate, $750. Net price, $19,988. One at this price. Stock number GK9219. Expires March 31st, 2024.
Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and our thrilling high-limit room with Sky River rewards that add up and up, and 18 elevated restaurants and bars. There's something for everyone. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call
339-1140.
Earlier in the show, we discussed what a success is, and Mike Brown was given some information about the Kings, and he was told this is Sacramento's 10th season being over 500, which obviously isn't a lot. The Kings have been around for a long time, and it isn't a lot. And Mike Brown was asked about the whole thing, and it was a little bit interesting what he had to say about it and just expectations and what he's trying to do. And it really was a bit eye-opening for him to discuss what he's hoping happens throughout the course of his time here. This is what he had to say.
I mean, you want to win, definitely. I don't really look at it that way. Like, I was a little shocked when somebody said that since they moved here, this is the 10th time they've had a better than 500 record. Because I don't, and I'm not, I hope you guys don't think I don't know, the only word I think is cocky or arrogant, maybe, because I'm not trying to be that, but I'm not, like, I didn't come here to play 500 basketball or so that wasn't even in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, hey, let's get a taste of the playoffs. Let's get a deep. I'm thinking, how can we win a championship? And that's the only thing on my mind is how can we put a team together that can help us compete for a championship, and what things can we do as a staff to help them? And so I guess it's good to do another 500, but I'm shocked about it, but I don't really think of it. So I hope I answered your question.
So in the video, he makes a hand gesture as he's talking about moving forward. And the way I took it is he's just going like moving his hand. Hey, we need to move forward and take steps. The way I took it is less about the 500 thing and more about where he feels like they're currently at in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about, hey, you don't feel like you need to tell them anything, or should you maybe change your philosophy on some of this stuff? And the way it sounded to me is that let's stay realistic here. Yes, we're going to say we want to win a championship. We were going to say things like that because you can't get up there and say, hey, guys, come buy tickets to our team. I mean, I think only if you're tanking, the Pistons don't have to say that. They're going to say, we're just building. Yeah. But you get to a point where you get to the playoffs and now win a championship. But he said, you get to the playoffs, get deeper in the playoffs, and then eventually get to a championship. So I wonder how people will take that if they don't get deeper in the playoffs this season. The way I hear that is that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get deeper in the playoffs this season. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 year thing. They might not get deeper in the playoffs this season. And as we talked about earlier in the show, it's about what did you get from that season to help maybe get further in the playoffs next season, which they still could. They still could, but it's possible that they don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's, he kind of, I don't think he slipped, but I think he caught himself kind of saying there, get a taste of the playoffs. Right. Like, let's get a taste of the playoffs first, because Mike Brown's been around the block. He understands, like you said, like, you're not just going to go in there and then, first year there, you're going to make it to the second round. And then the year after, you're going to make it to the third round. And then you're going to make it to the championship. Like, he understands that even to talk championship, you've got to go to the dance first. You got to understand what kind of music they play. You got to understand the rhythm that kind of situation calls for. There's so many things that you have to learn just by being there in the first place. I mean, we can use the NCAA tournament, for example. They always say teams that have seniors, there's a reason why those teams that have seniors always seem to make it further in the tournament than those that have freshmen, like the Kentucky teams. It's because you've just been there before. You know how to deal with the emotions. You know the rhythm of the games. Tom Brady always talks about how, the Super Bowl has a completely different rhythm than any other football game you will play in your life, because the halftime show is an hour long.
Baby.
That's right. Sometimes the lights go out. You have timeouts that instead of a minute and a half, they're now 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes. Right. And how do you, adjust your stamina? How do you get your breath? How do you do all of these things? How do you get yourself in a rhythm? All of these things are brand new until you go through it, including, stamina and injury management, all of these things. The Kings are still so early in their learning process where they haven't even experienced a lot of the things that come with deep playoff runs, obviously. I think that it's just Mike Brown, again, reminding us, and I think his team as well, and maybe even he is talking to Vivek and Monty in the front office, that, I know this is fun. I know there's a lot of expectations. I know you probably talk to people around town who say, hey, are we going to win a championship in the next couple of years, or what's the plan? But man, you have to walk. You have to crawl before you even walk. Obviously, walk before you run. It feels like the Kings are somewhere. I mean, you've got a newborn ish, at this point. You got to understand that there's a process to these things, and the Kings right now are probably in that in between of crawling and walking, and they're standing. They're standing. They got their balance. Maybe they can take a couple steps, but they haven't fully learned how to take the walk and just have that be who they are. And again, I think that's just Mike Brown reminding us this thing's going to take some time, man.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, but you do want to leave each season thinking, okay, well, at least we blank. Right. And I think the big thing for the Kings is Malik Monk. Mm-hmm. If you do lose Malik Monk, then part of that growth that you made in year 2, and 916 on the text line is saying this is only year 2 of this team. If you lose Malik Monk, then you're losing one of the 3 things that we mentioned that you did get from this season. We talked about De'Aaron Fox in 3-point range. Actually, there's more than 3. De'Aaron Fox at 3-point range, Keegan defensively and figuring out other things to do offensively, Malik Monk and Keon Ellis. So those are the 4 main things off the top of my head. And actually, let's open it up, right? Outside of the record, 916-339-1140, call line, text line, also the Sac chat. What are the things that you would take away from this season so far? What are the positives? Right now, we have De'Aaron Fox's 3-pointers. We have finding Keon Ellis. We have Keegan Murray defensively. And last but not least, we have Malik Monk. Yeah. Is there anything that we're missing? And
I would maybe say Sabonis consistency, but didn't we already kind of
sure.
I guess it's more 5. Just confirmation of just like this dude literally every single night.
Make it a solid 5. Yeah. And Malik Monk, if you lose, and now if you rank those things, Malik Monk is pretty high on that list. Yeah. So absolutely. If you do lose Malik Monk, that's a problem.
Yeah. No, and as that texter even said, this is only year 2 of this team. Well, the problem is if you lose Malik Monk, that you could argue that then makes next season year 1 of this team, a new team.
Yeah.
And, who knows? I think regardless of what happens, I feel like the Kings are going to probably try and make some splashes this offseason because, if we all have talked about it, they pretty much, for all intents and purposes, ran it back this year. I would almost wager everything that I have that the Kings aren't just going to run it back next year. So who knows what other, changes are going to be made. But I think that next year is going to be like a 2.0 of whatever this team is anyway. Hopefully it's growth and not an adjusted path of these guys. Like if Malik leaves, that feels like an adjusted path. I'm hoping that they can keep Malik and build upon what they have here.
Yeah, basically, I think we would say Malik is part of the foundation.
Yes, exactly.
And if you lose the foundation, exactly. If you lose the foundation, you have to rebuild. Yep. And that's a triggering word for people, but you would have to find somebody that fills that void.
Yeah.
If you do lose him, because they're going to offer him what they can offer him.
Yes.
But the starting conversation, the money conversation, if somebody, I'll put it to you like this though. I mean, the way Malik is ending the season does kind of bode well for the Kings. I'm being a little sarcastic there, and I would love for Malik to get hot tonight, and maybe during prop talk we will hear about it. But yeah, he it's been tough, man. I think our own Kyle Ledbetter hopped into off nights last night and said that G-Man at one point said that Malik Monk was 7 for his last 32 on 3-point attempts.
Yeah, I know he hasn't hit a 3 in his last 3 games, which is obviously very uncharacteristic. But yeah, I mean, it just feels like he's off right now. But 100%, like I really like that 5 that we came up with there. I think that's at least the biggest 5 things that they've found from this season. And I think there's maybe a couple more if we were to really dig into it. But to me, those are 5 major positives that I would think, regardless of result, you can go into next season feeling like, all right, we did build towards something in these manners. Of course, we're not talking about the areas in which the Kings took a step back, but it feels like in general, they have gotten they've gotten closer to where they want to be with the guys that really are the most important, because that is the thing about the 5 guys we just listed. Those are probably the most minus Keon Ellis. You know, you have improvement from De'Aaron, you have improvement from Sabonis, you have improvement from Keegan Murray, and you have improvement from Malik Monk. Those are the core 4, man.
Exactly.
And so as long as those guys are building towards something, I think that's what's really important.
Coming up next, we talk about the Mavs and we preview them for the second time. Also, where does Sabonis fall on the MVP ladder right now? And we will discuss any regrets about not doing anything at the trade deadline. A little bit later in the show, we'll talk Giants A's and Jung-Hoo Lee's first hit. We have that audio for you on the Korean broadcast. It was outstanding. And we talked to Frankie Cardicelli, who was boots on the ground out there in the town in Oakland for the A's game. TC, we see you on the line. We will get you when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Tuesday, the Kings got worked by the Dallas Mavericks. Tonight, Sacramento looks for some payback.
Pressure against Luka on a double-team blitz. Here's a steal by Fox. A breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand. Kings fans elated. Sacramento on top.
Join us on Sactown Sports for the Kings and Mavericks in a big-time battle in the Western Conference. Get all the action starting at 7 on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Timeshare trap and think there's no way out. Well, Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 35,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares, and they may be able to help you too. If you were misled into signing a timeshare agreement, that is a lifetime commitment. If you were told timeshare is a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, you need to get the facts about timeshare cancellation. For over 10 years, Wesley Financial Group has been dedicated to helping folks get out of a lifetime of debt by canceling their timeshare. So they created a timeshare exit information kit, which reveals how the timeshare industry works and what your options are for cancellation. Simply call Wesley right now and they will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. See how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Again, 800-761-0000.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
If you've been enjoying a little too much food, too many sweets, and too much liquid cheer over the holidays, then you've probably put a lot of stress on your liver. A great way to show your liver some love and to detox your system is simply adding Active Liver to your daily routine. Active Liver is an easy and effective way to keep your liver healthy and functioning properly all year long. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, go to NORDICUSA.com, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-906-5382. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-906-5382 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-906-5382. 800-906-5382. 800-906-5382.
National Ping Club Fitter of the Year, Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is introducing the straightest, most forgiving Ping driver ever with the new Ping G430 Max 10K driver. A fixed back weight, Ping's largest head profile, and a carbon fly wrap crown help G430 Max 10K launch the ball higher with less spin for consistently longer and straighter results. Schedule your fitting and see for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue to Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Kings vs. Mavs, Part 2. Will the sequel be better than the first installment?
It better be.
It has to be.
Yeah. This is better be like I would say Dark Knight, probably, right? That's one of those where the second is probably better than the first. It's not
without
often.
a doubt.
It's
Without
not
a
often
doubt,
that you get that to be the case.
Yeah,
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, people would say that for sure.
I thought I was the only one. I've recently found out that people like Empire Strikes Back. I thought I was different, and then I found out that a lot of people like.
People think that's the best one. That's the general consensus. That's the best Star Wars movie.
Well, now I know.
I really like Clone Wars. Nobody ever. You want to talk about nobody
You mean
ever
Attack of
agreeing
the
with
Clones?
Me? Ah, that one too. Yeah.
Clone Wars wasn't that a commercial?
Yeah, Clone
or
Wars
the show.
was the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like Pixar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pixar
People say
adjacent.
that one's great though. People say the show is great.
Yeah. I don't know. You seen X-Men, Alan?
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
The
I
show
know.
X2, pretty good.
Everyone keeps asking me. I have not seen it yet.
Oh, you're talking about the cartoon one?
Yeah, the new
I
one.
haven't watched that yet. No.
Got to get into it.
Yeah, got to get into it.
All right, and we will get into some of these calls. Let's hear from TC, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, so I agree with all the points that y'all said about the good takeaways from the season, but also I know we dropped a few games like teams we should have beat, but the defense is better, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think that's a huge one, TC.
Yeah, but the defense is way better than last year. Last year we were trying to outscore everybody. This year we're actually stopping people a little bit, but also getting ours. Our offense struggled a little bit, but our defense is better.
That's a good one. Thanks for the call, TC. Add that to the list, Chris. So now we're at 6.
Yeah, just in terms of the general team. Yeah, like the team in general feels like they have made a major, especially, I mean, obviously here recently, feels like they've made a major leap on the defensive end. I'm trying to get the exact numbers here. Last year, the Kings defensive rating, so points per 100 possessions, sat at 24th in the league, 116 points per 100 possessions. This year, they are sitting at 16th at 115.2. So almost a full point per 100 possessions taken away. It's not insignificant at all, but it's definitely an improvement. And it's something we talked about really for the entirety of the offseason was, can these guys just get to league average on defense? And they are quite literally right on the cusp. They are tied with the Warriors for 15th best in the NBA. So yeah, I would definitely say that's a really, really big improvement, or a nice step forward. Again, just a nice step forward for this team, something to build on moving forward.
Have some sequels coming in that are better than the original. From the 916, our guy Steven, Aliens is better than Alien.
Okay.
That's a toss-up, depending on the type of person you are.
Okay. Depending on the type of person that you are.
I love
Curtis
Aliens.
Hicks on the Sack Chat. Terminator 2 is better than
Again,
Terminator 1.
I don't know. It's a very similar situation, but
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, there's plenty out there that aren't. Did you know that there was a Lion King 2?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah, there's
Did
also
you
like
know-
a Lion
it's
King
a straight to DVD or straight to VHS.
1.5. Did you know that there is an Aladdin 2?
Yeah,
I did know that.
Disney did all this. They wanted to capitalize on all their animated movies,
So
so they did
sometimes
VHS.
it's not better. I'll tell you one that
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is. You're right.
Doc Ock,
Yeah.
yes.
And like you said, X2 is way better than X1.
I would also say, and I know I find a way to talk about this movie, I think once a week. D2 Mighty Ducks is better than the first.
Talk
It's
about
better
this
than the
movie
first one.
A crazy amount.
It's better than the first one.
It's brought up at least once a week.
Yeah, I do have a Ducks jersey. I was so sad when the Anaheim Ducks changed their logo.
I know, yeah.
I think they brought it back though.
Yeah,
I think they
it's
brought
like
it
an
back, though.
alternate for them.
They had one T ride on the Sack Chat, also saying Spider-Man 2 better than 1.
Yeah.
We're looking for
better sequels than
better
the original.
sequels. Joe Jaros, our guy, Paddington 2 and Top Gun Maverick better than the originals. Brandon Deitzman, Godfather 2.
Yeah,
Better
I'm
than the
a
original.
Godfather 1 personally, but
We're seeing a trend with you, Nate.
I know.
You like the OGs. You
Well,
like the originals.
Well, Empire Strikes Back is way better than the original Star
That's the only one
Wars.
so
And that's
far. That's the only
Dark
one so
Knight's
far.
better than Batman Begins. X2 is better than X1. Spider-Man 2 is better than Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, but there's specific movies.
There's 4.
There's specific movies that you've said.
I might be
hey,
a snob.
I think you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
that is what I'm saying.
Maybe I went to school
it.
for it. I don't know. To be a snob.
There you go. Keep the sequels coming in. We will continue to read them as the Kings hope that the sequel is better than the original tonight against the Mavs. Chris, this is from the 916. What were the moves, if any, that Monte may have attempted at the trade deadline that didn't work out?
Well, I mean, there seems to be a lot of murmurs out there that they did kick the tires on a Kyle Kuzma trade. I mean, obviously we were in the building when that whole Toronto Raptors fiasco went down when, there was, I mean, we had straight up Shams tweets saying it feels like things are trending towards a deal here with Pascal Siakam, and then whatever ended up happening, he backed out, or the Kings found out he didn't have any intentions of staying long-term, whatever. But those were definitely the big, I guess you could say 3 that were really, heavily rumored to be discussed. I don't think we ever officially got, these guys are actively in conversations with these guys, but you can kind of read between the lines with the rumors that at the very least some phone calls were made, but all of those are very, very big moves. And I think a lot of them would have required probably, one or both of HB and Herter plus picks. And I just think the Kings weren't ready to make that move yet. And the case with the Pascal thing was, from what we heard, was they asked for Keegan Murray and they asked for Malik Monk. And those are 2 non-starters for the Kings, not in terms of starting lineup, but in terms of negotiations, those are non-starters. And, I think it never really got to any serious negotiations with really any of those guys. Maybe you can believe the Pascal thing, but I just kind of don't believe that was really ever as close as what was actually reported.
Yeah, there are definitely some things that we heard as far as Pascal. And by the way, what a different time that was.
Yeah, feels like
pre-deadline.
3 years ago.
It does feel like it was a really long time ago.
It was pre-Vegas for us.
Pre-Vegas, just a different time. And what a time to be alive. And nothing got done. But really, Kuzma, I think, was the biggest, behind Pascal. I think they were in on Pascal, couldn't get there. And that's all she wrote. We really didn't hear too much about some of the the smaller names, if you
the
will.
Royce O'Neal,
Yeah, we didn't
even
even
like
hear
Caruso didn't seem like there was much tires kicked. I remember last year at the deadline, Matisse Thybulle was a name that was thrown out a ton. Didn't really seem like we heard those same low level players in rumors like we did last year either.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
We head into the last 10 games of the season with who you got.
Yep.
And not only is it who you originally had, it's less than what you had because there's no Kevin Huerter. And Sasha Vezenkov, I was reading Chris during the break, officially questionable, right?
Yeah.
And
Brendan Nunez wrote a nice piece about Sasha in the timeline of his injury yesterday on the website as well. I would heavily recommend people go read that.
Long story short, he's probably not playing tonight.
I don't want to read too much into it, but after reading Brendan's article, I should say, about Sasha's quotes, I'm just going to read these quotes. And I think we played Sasha's audio yesterday.
Yes.
And hearing the audio, it didn't sound, I didn't hear anything that really sparked my interest, but
no,
reading the quotes with, just reading them without any context.
Okay.
I just want to hear what you think. With 2 days off, the Kings found time to practice Thursday. I'm feeling better, Vezenkov said. Getting to the right direction, trying hard every day. Unfortunately, it's the second injury to the same leg. Let's see here. There was another quote. That one, first off, just really sparked my interest. Here's the other one. With daily variance and pain levels and proper movement, he's unsure when he'll be able to return, but also acknowledge that it's more mental than physical at this point. Quote, I need to feel good, Sasha said. It's stressful. I want to help my team, but I'm trying to be 100% to be ready to help them. When I heard those quotes, that doesn't sound like, to me, Sasha's coming back next week. That to me sounds like I'm just a while away. Like I still have a lot of things that the bigger thing is that doesn't sound like a sense of urgency when there's 10 games remaining. There's 2 weeks left. And he's saying, that's trying hard every day, getting to the right direction.
With Trey Lyles out.
In the right direction, going to with Trey Lyles out. Again, yeah, small window of opportunity here already. We have questions of whether or not he'll even if he returned tonight, will he even get minutes? That question almost isn't even a question when Trey Lyles is back. So I don't know. After reading those quotes, maybe I could definitely be reading way too much into it, but I need to feel good. It's stressful. I want to help my team, but I'm trying to be 100% to be ready to help them. That doesn't sound like a guy who has 2 games this coming weekend and then there's 8 games left. That doesn't sound like a guy who's really tracking towards being close to a return. And again, I could be reading too much into that, but to me, that doesn't sound like, yeah, excited to get out there. Oh, yeah, we've been ramping things up here recently and just excited to get out on the floor and help my guys towards a playoff push. He acknowledges missing 21 straight and 21 straight and 28 of his last 30, which is the longest he's been sidelined due to an injury in his career. Mind you, Sasha's 28 right now. He started playing professional basketball when he was 16. So this is the longest stretch Sasha has ever missed in his entire life. He's 30 games, 28 of his last 30. That's about a European season. So he is not used to missing this much time. That's a lot of reconditioning. It's a lot of getting your shot in rhythm. And again, this is game 72 on. These are guys who have been playing in form. Sabonis and Barnes have played every game this season. You have guys who are so in form, so in shape right now. It wouldn't be fair to throw this guy out there and say, hey, I know everyone's ramping things up for playoff intensity right now. Go ahead. Go give us some good minutes. I just think that that's not putting him in a fair situation to succeed, which you could argue has been the case all season long. But it really doesn't sound like Sasha, to me, is in a mindset or in a physical state where he's really close to a return.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. And
we'll
what
see.
a miss. What a miss, unfortunately, but it has not been whatever the expectations were. I'm sure they were higher than this when they were out there across the world trying to convince Sasha to come to the Kings, and for it to end the way it's ending, not what anybody was hoping for. When we return, the MVP ladder is back, and Sabonis still on it, doing his thing. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Tuesday, the Kings got worked by the Dallas Mavericks. Tonight, Sacramento looks for some payback.
Pressure against Luka on a double-team blitz. Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand. Kings fans elated. Sacramento on top.
Join us on Sactown Sports for the Kings and Mavericks in a big-time battle in the Western Conference. Get all the action starting at 7 on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad.
Great job, buddy. He's a beauty.
Thanks for taking me fishing. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Join Chris Watkins and the Sactown Sports Street Team this Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub for some basketball madness and their mouth-watering full menu, 1310 Fulton Avenue. See you there.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit jiffylube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
Fidium Fiber Internet is fast becoming a hometown favorite. With a dedicated connection and speeds up to 2 gigs, Fidium is winning over fans every day. Plans start at just $25 a month, so everyone can experience the best internet in the game. Visit FidiumFiber.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Emran Pilati, host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday at 10 a.m. Would you like a chance to meet Ricky Henderson, Dennis Rodman, Johnny Manziel, Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Dave Stewart, and our favorite Malik Monk, and meet over 90 sports card dealers all in one weekend? This is your chance to do it on May 17th through the 19th at the Roseville Fairgrounds at the Sacramento Autograph Expo. You can get all the information about the show on our website at sacautograph.expo.com. That's sacautograph.expo.com.
Right now, Maida Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2024 half-ton Silverado LT Crew Cab 4-wheel drives after rebates. A Maida Chevy exclusive.
See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/24.
See all the savings at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive. Sacramento sports fans, get ready to score big with the Sactown Sports live events calendar. We're bringing you the hottest acts and the biggest concerts all season long. First up, on May 10th, it's a night of laughs as Pete Davidson takes the stage at Hard Rock Live. It's comedy gold and a night you won't want to miss. Visit HardRockHotelSacramento.com for tickets. And June 8th, Live Nation brings NF to the Golden One Center as he lights up the stage with his high-energy performance. Visit Live Nation or Ticketmaster.com to score your tickets today. But wait, the fun doesn't stop there. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. It's a concert experience that'll rock your world. And looking ahead to August 22nd, get ready to kick up some dust with Creed Fisher at Ace of Spades, presented by Live Nation. Keep the adrenaline pumping, Sacramento. Visit SactownSports.com for all the details and ticket information. The Sactown Sports live events calendar, your ultimate guide to the hottest shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sactown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
The Amish have a reputation for craftsmanship, determination, and quality. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. You know, those virtues sound quite similar to the Keys family and the day-to-day values on display at Naturewood. The Amish furniture craftsmanship begins with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into one-of-a-kind art. In addition to the classic styles long sought and revered by discriminating furniture lovers, Naturewood Home Furnishings offers a vast selection that includes transitional, modern, farmhouse, arts and crafts, and other stunning styles, all available in the ultimate Amish standard of excellence built over centuries. All Naturewood Amish furniture is on sale right now for a limited time. Let the Naturewood team guide you through their selection of Amish furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters and a game and a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Sabonis still at number 6 on the MVP ladder. Got some more sequels to go through, Chris.
Ooh. Okay.
Electric Boogaloo.
Okay.
Major League 2. That's a good one. Major League 2. That was from the 916. Yeah. Both from the 916, actually. 2 different 916 numbers. Jess Escoto. Sister Act 2 was amazing. That's a great one.
I think I've only seen the first one.
Oh, they're great. They're great.
Shout out Whoopi.
Sister Act 2 was great. Jess also said Sister Act 1 was great as well.
Really good.
BCH Custom Cabinetry. Jeepers Creepers 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had the pleasure.
It's a good one.
Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, I forgot.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I agree with that.
Really?
Brandon Deitzman, Bad Boys 2.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw Rush Hour 2 on there
yes,
as well. Rush Hour 2 is
2
great.
From Curtis. Rush Hour 2.
That's great.
That's a great one. And
Not Ghostbusters 2. I'll say that right now.
Is that the newer one?
No.
No.
They did one 5 years or something after the first one. It is.
Okay.
And now they're bringing
garbage.
back the revamped Ghostbusters 2. When I thought nobody liked the revamped Ghostbusters
in the first one.
Right,
yeah.
yeah, they redid it. Everybody complained.
Right.
And now number 2 is coming out.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Which tells me that people like to complain, but then go because they're not making number 2s if they're
That's
not
right.
making money.
That's exactly right. And
So-
I think they made a second It too, which I don't know.
I've had that saved. I just can't. It's
It
3
2. You have
Yes,
saved?
it's
Okay,
3,
yeah.
and I don't know if I ever got around to it, but either way, it was 3 hours and change.
No.
3 hours and change,
Nah, brother. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's 0% chance.
Excuse me, 2 hours and 49 minutes.
Oh, that's your bad. That's your bad.
2 hours.
Get out of here.
What else can happen? Get out of the
You're
sewer.
right. Get out of there.
It's time.
Kill the clown.
Kill the clown and go. 3 hours?
Where are their parents?
3 hours is crazy.
Come on.
I'm to the point. And
Yeah,
how
that's
long
nuts.
is
for a sequel?
How
Yeah,
long
come
is
on.
Dune 2?
Oh, that's a great.
Somebody would say
question, yeah.
Dune 2 is better, right?
Oh, I'll say that right now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see it.
Yeah.
I honestly
2 hours,
loved
46 minutes.
Goodness,
I know,
bro,
it's a-
that's an SAT. What's
I
going
know.
on?
It was a quick. I loved it.
I mean, I don't even think Baby Styles is napping that long anymore. I don't know where I'm going to find
Yeah,
that. Basically,
240.
when you have a young child or a baby, movies are essentially series. You're not anything over an hour and a half.
Can't do.
You're breaking that bad boy.
Yeah. Okay.
You're just
Gotcha.
breaking it.
Yeah.
So
That's
this
gotta be
is
splitting.
this is a 5-part series for me.
Yeah.
Dune 2.
Exactly.
That's what it is. I've had Barbie in the chamber.
That's
I'm
a
just
good one.
thinking, when are we going to have the time?
Right. That one's good. That's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I would invest the time into
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, it's 1 hour 54 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's a 3 hour. It's
That
a
one's
3-part
digestible.
series for me.
Oppenheimer, that might be if you want to do the Barbenheimer, that's where you might have to split that thing up.
3 hours for Oppenheimer?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, man. I still haven't had the time to carve out for that.
Come on, man.
I hear it's great. Fantastic.
From the 916 22 Jump Street.
Oh, 22 Jump Street was great. That was great.
Yeah.
You know what wasn't great?
The first one's really
Ted
good.
2.
Yeah.
I actually saw a pre-screening for Ted 2. I went to the Nielsen pre-screening where they don't tell you what you're going to see, so all the CGI wasn't finished and stuff. And it was very they changed it pretty drastically.
I would imagine you kind of need CGI for, the bear.
But if you go in knowing like, hey, we're working on it. I feel like it's better. You're trying to, I don't know. Those are fun though.
I got a barbershop copy of Wolverine that was like that as well.
Yeah, X-Men Origin. I remember that was.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's not a movie you should watch without the CGI
saw the same one.
Yeah.
It's
really
the
bad.
same
There's
one.
like a scene.
Funny.
They're on a train, and I think maybe Cyclops is there, and it's just like a red laser.
That's crazy. I saw the same
goes
one.
around.
That one that must have hit the streets
It did leak early. It did. I remember
hit the
that.
streets in a hurry. And Sabonis is in a hurry to raise up the MVP ladder, but he's still at number 6, Chris. What are your thoughts?
I think that the NBA must just not like this man. Like, I don't know what else he needs to do. He literally is on this streak and it's the thing of, we can all acknowledge Domantas Sabonis isn't going to win MVP, but like, can for 1 week, like even the week that he breaks the 54 straight consecutive, can we just get him at number 5? Can I get a nice little paragraph about Domantas Sabonis' season? No, we have to see Jason Tatum. We have to see Giannis. We have to see Shea, and we got to see Luka and Jokic in the top 5 of the MVP. Again, I can fully acknowledge Domantas Sabonis isn't going to win this thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this man has been stuck at number 6, I think, for like a month and a half now. What does he have to do in order to get the respect of at least just creeping in for a week? You can take him out the next week, but just give him a little bit of a, hey man, just wanted to take some time to acknowledge the season Domantas Sabonis has had. The Kings have been top 10 in defense these past 2 weeks, and Sabonis continues to put up double doubles. Now it's not going to happen. We're cooked. It's past that point of Sabonis getting the recognition, but it's just like, I just wanted 1 week where maybe Sabonis could creep in to that top 5, but no, he's just been stuck at number 6 and no higher all season long.
Luka at number 2?
Luka at number 2 is pretty crazy. For a 6 seed, for a team that before this week was an 8 seed, that's where I'm like, come on, like just give me an acknowledgement. Like if you can put a 6 seed or a 7 seed, an 8 seed at number 2, what's your excuse for not putting a guy who leads the NBA in rebounds and assists this calendar year? Why can't you just sneak him in there just for a week? Jason Tatum's had this thing wrapped up all year. He's on the 1 seed, and he's clearly you don't think Jason Tatum's going to win MVP.
Right.
So what's the difference of just, again, for 1 week, just putting Sabonis in there? That's all I'm
He's
at.
just been in the next 5.
I'm sorry.
No, it makes sense.
I just want to see.
And how bizarre Kevin Durant and Devin Booker continuing to be right one after the other.
Yep.
Kevin at 7 and Devin at 8.
They're moving everybody else around. Yeah. Kevin was 8 last week. He's now 7. Booker was 9. He's now 8. AD wasn't ranked. He's now 9. Kawhi was 7. He's now 10. So they're messing around with everybody else. They're just like, no, we like Sabonis there.
Yeah.
He can't do any better than what we've seen. So I just, it's again, just another acknowledgement of the fact that doesn't matter what Sabonis does. He's in Sacramento. People have this narrative about him. He's just there, and they're not going to change. I mean, they just think he is a certain caliber of player, and they're never, ever, 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 doesn't matter what he does, they are not going to ever step over the line of, he actually might be better than what I thought initially.
Yeah, it does speak to how the Kings are viewed nationally, and he got a bit of love. Answer me this. How can he be, and obviously Shaq isn't a part of this, but how can he be in the big man alliance
That's right.
whatever it is and move into the big man alliance this season, but still not be able to sniff that top 5? I mean, people were talking about Jason Tatum and how he wasn't doing enough, right? And he's sitting there,
he got a team full of stars, man.
Pleading his case. So that's just how it is. Hopefully Sabonis can come out tonight. I'll tell you this much.
And for what it's worth, Sabonis was 7th last year in the actual MVP voting.
Interesting.
So it's like he's gotten the acknowledgement before, but even then they're saying, I know the league has gotten better across the board, but they're still pretty much saying, you're only moving up one spot. And the names that were up there last year, for what it's worth, Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, Shea, Donovan Mitchell, Sabonis, and then Luka.
We had a caller earlier who had a couple things to say, but one of them was about how this team gets a bit frazzled when Sabonis can't get going. And I'll tell you this much, Sabonis might drop in the MVP if he has another bad showing against Derek Lively as he did a couple nights ago. We understand, and we had the conversation last week, we understand how good De'Aaron Fox is, but Sabonis really starts everything off on the right foot and or the wrong foot for this team. Chris, this is the one thing, as we've broken down Luka on offense and Luka on defense, and you have to make shots, obviously, and maybe some of that will help Sabonis. But that's the one thing where, and I know you mentioned a fake handoff that he doesn't normally do. Early on in that game, he tried to take some open shots because Derek was giving it to him. But honestly, that is the one thing looking at this matchup tonight. That is the one piece of this that I haven't really been able to figure out how you get Sabonis going. I mean, he is what he is. And we've seen there are guys that just give him trouble. And if Derek Lively is going to be one of those guys now, I don't know how you, quote unquote, get him going tonight.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great question because, like you said, I mean, we've pretty much seen Sabonis's formula, and we've seen the guys that tend to give him problems and the guys that he can just absolutely dominate. And Lively looked, at least for that night, like a guy who Sabonis probably isn't going to be able to figure out. Bigger guys who are bigger than him and strength. It's really strength that's the biggest thing. And it seems like Lively has a good base on him. And so he's able to hold his weight and not just get shoved around and take that shoulder to the chest and really, be willing to, again, stand his ground. I think Sabonis, I mean, he did, like you said, he took a couple mid-range shots. I think he took a one-handed floater or a push shot.
I don't know if he made any of them.
He missed another mid-range jumper. I would think he's got to hit his a three. We know that he doesn't take a ton of threes. He's got to be able to stretch out the floor and just keep them guessing, because that's the problem is if Lively's just going to be able to stand there and hold his ground, again, we've seen that movie too many times. I just don't think that you're going to get a different result. He's got to make him think. He's got to make him say, okay, I do have to step out on this three. Oh, I do have to cover him out there. And it's just about getting him off balance. And once Sabonis gets him guessing, that's where he can take advantage. But, that's a whole lot easier said than done. I'm sure he tried to kind of do some of those things on Tuesday. You just got to make the shots. I mean, really, it's not that simple. You've talked about it actually in the past. He's kind of a 2-level scorer right now. It feels like he's shown the ability to hit that three. He's obviously dominant in the paint. It's that mid-range game that he just hasn't quite figured out. I think that's the part of his game that he's got to be able to show it in order for that matchup to go more favorably for him. Or who knows, maybe just this time the shoulder creates a little bit more separation and maybe he doesn't hesitate as much. I think that was a big part of Tuesday as well. It felt like he kept trying to bait him into getting into the air instead of maybe taking it to him and going up with it. So maybe just more decisiveness on Sabonis's part.
Yeah, it's tough, man. And that's the one thing. The consistency is one thing that you've had with Sabonis, but I guess ceiling factor and he can do this or he can break the game in any sort of way. It just hasn't been there. And if you have somebody that is just not going for any of the stuff that he normally does and gets other dudes with, I do think it's a good reminder for how much matchups matter.
Yeah.
And if the Kings do get into the playoffs, I'm trying to remember how Sabonis does against a Rudy Gobert, but I'm looking at some of the teams at the top, and Jokic, they essentially cancel each other out. Thunder, you feel good about that with Chet, and you feel pretty good about the T-Wolves. It's just these lower tier teams that Zubac has given him problems this season. And Nurkic has given him, even though he's soft, Nurkic has given him a little bit of problems this season as well. Maybe we won't have to deal with it, but it does ask the question of, how badly do you want to not be in the play-in? Because you get in the play-in, and I know he's done well with Anthony Davis, but I don't want to deal with the Lakers with the playoff berth on the line when the league is trying to milk LeBron James for everything he's got left. Looney, I saw with Kuminga out, Looney got some time. He really hadn't been playing that much, but Looney got time not too long ago doing Looney things. So we know what the recipe is. You got to find a way to power through today. I'm looking for Sabonis, honestly. Here's the thing about Sabonis taking a three. You take it if you have it, but if you are the defender, that doesn't change anything, right? He makes a three. Yeah. You're not going to come out. You have to take it because you're open and we believe you can make it, right? But they're not going to defend you differently. I feel like crazy enough, you have to take two. You have to take two for anybody to even think about coming out there.
No, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Like, yeah, like you're probably going to say, oh, he made it. Like, yeah,
right.
That doesn't mean I'm going to go close out on him.
And the Kings are taking the points.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those where if you're the defense, that's the exact shot that we're willing to live with. Yes. It's a lot better him out there than him in the paint. I think, again, I don't think it really necessarily changes completely how you would defend him. But even if it is, hey, I was completely just standing in the paint when you took it last time, at least this time I'll go out and put a hand up. Even that creates space. It's having somebody who was formerly in the paint now, at the very least, even if it is for 1 second, they're now outside of that paint. You can get a cutter. You can get Sabonis to drive around him. It just opens up more options. So it's not the answer, but if we're talking about ways of just kind of getting Dallas to not look like how they looked last week, or on Tuesday, I would say that's a way of doing it, is just making them at the very least step out and stretch out their defense. Even a little, I think it can go a long way. So, it's not the perfect idea. And even still, you're right. Like, defenses are going to be more than okay with living with Sabonis taking that three. I just think he's got to do something to kind of pull Derek Lively out of that paint, because Sabonis, we saw, he can't really get much separation from him when he's posted up.
No, he can't. And the Kings are going to need literally all their bag of tricks tonight. And it's not a matter of, it feels so weird talking about the Mavericks like this, because the Mavericks were basically my Suns for you. You've never really worried about the Suns. I've never really worried about the Mavericks. In this new version of the Mavericks, I find myself being very worried about. And there's still a part of me that just doesn't believe. But at the same time, you have no choice but to believe, because the proof is in the pudding, and they just put it on the Kings a couple nights ago. So you have to believe that what they're doing right now is legit, and what Luka is doing is legit. I'm telling you, man, he just moves so slow sometimes. I'm just like, there's no way that he's out here just cooking, and the Kings are going to be able to just run him out the building, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. No, it's a lot easier said than done. And, I still would love to see the Kings. I still think that that's a possibility, right? Like, it makes a lot of sense for you to get Dallas in transition on defense. The Kings did a terrible job of it last game. That's actually something that I feel like they should try and take advantage of. I think Dallas killed them in transition on Tuesday. That should be a category that the Kings win every single time. You got De'Aaron Fox, you got Domantas Sabonis getting the rebound and just straight up running. You should be killing teams all the time in fast break points. And you're completely right. They did not take advantage of that at all on Tuesday.
And if they come out the same way they came out on Tuesday, on Monday, we're going to be talking about, hey, hopefully we host a play-in game. That's just where it is. And hopefully you don't have to go to Club Phoenix or wherever else in order to get it taken care of. But it's going to be outstanding atmosphere out there. It's going to be a little bit rainy, but I think everybody's still going to bring the energy. By the way, Chris, I meant to bring something up to you, and I will do that.
That's right.
On the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji.
My Old Spice is missing! No!
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. The government will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000 with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may be entitled to a significant financial reward for your Camp Lejeune claim and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement with your VA benefits fully protected. But the deadline for filing is fast approaching, so you need to act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune, and with the deadline coming, you need to call now or you may forever lose your right to a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-738-2277, 800-738-2277, 800-738-2277.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The weather's warming up, spring is here, and so is road trip season. And if you're saying, yeah, sure, I would love to load everything up in my car and hit the road and go on a long road trip, but I don't trust my car. It's not dependable. Well, then go see my friends at Elk Grove Kia. They'll get you into something dependable and super affordable, like a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for $19,988. Yep, at a time when the average new car price is over $48,000, Elk Grove Kia can get you into a brand new car for less than half of that. This car's loaded with automatic transmission, an 8-inch touchscreen with rear camera. It's got advanced driver assistance system, so it's got tech and safety. And again, this brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS can be yours for only $19,988. Only at the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer, Elk Grove Kia, in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, and online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia sale price, $20,738. Kia rebate, $750. Net price, $19,988. One at this price. Stock number GK9219. Expires March 31st, 2024.
Rivercats fans, it's time to celebrate our 25th anniversary in Sacramento. Regular season baseball returns to Sutter Health Park on Friday, March 29th. The opening weekend festivities include a live DJ and happy hour in Elysian Landing on Smud Orange Friday, Sandlot Night on Sutter Health Fireworks Saturday, and Easter at the Ballpark on Sunday Fun Day. To view the complete 2024 schedule and to purchase tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
out the A's as they lose their first game of the season, as did the Giants. We also have audio from Jung-Hoo Lee's first hit, the Korean broadcast. Very exciting. Not going to want to miss that. Also, some people coming down my road on on a tweet that I had, and I thought that I was very clear in the tweet, but apparently not clear enough. But first, Chris, man, so you've been my tour guide throughout my first season here in Sacramento with the Kings. And you didn't tell me that the Dallas Mavericks, that they were not on your list as fan bases that get down like this. There was a lot of Mavericks fans. Luka got cheers. Kyrie got cheers in Sacramento. You told me Miami. Yep. You told me Chicago. Yep. Lakers, Warriors, obviously. And I think maybe Boston, of course. And even this was louder than the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. What's up? Is that a thing?
That was not on my bingo card. I was very unaware that Dallas. I was not familiar with their game.
Not at all.
No idea. Maybe it was just because it was such a big game. But yeah, no, it was definitely a little surprising how many Dallas fans were in there, and I don't think I've seen it at that level before. Because it feels like, especially if you're a Dallas fan here in Sacramento, you probably have a lot of things to say in terms of, your Kings fans talking to you. I'm sure you've got some pretty good retorts back and forth. I would think that you would show up to as many of those games as possible, but it did feel like there was a bit of a special crowd there the other day for Dallas. I don't know if they have some local fan group or something like that, but they showed out and they knew exactly where to sit right behind their bench, which is also, maybe played a factor. It is right in front of where we sit as well. So maybe we heard it all.
Yeah, maybe it sounded louder for us, but as people started to leave leave the game early, I mean,
the ratio got a little messed up.
It was pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and my question is, I don't know what you Dallas Mavericks fans, because I know there's some double agents listening.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do for work, but if they got it like that to double up and show up again tonight,
exactly.
Hopefully they took care of business on Tuesday and they're not able to double up. But if they show up like they did on Tuesday tonight, I'm gonna be looking around thinking, man, maybe this Luka Doncic, maybe he's got some movement here with this face of the league thing. Because if this is new for you, right? This hasn't been a thing. And I mean, I know a lot of people do like Kyrie.
That's what I was wondering.
Okay,
too,
so you think it could be?
I don't know.
Well, it's probably just a mixed
I know
bag.
a lot of people also don't like Kyrie.
That's what I thought as well. But between the both of them, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, no, I really wasn't either. It'll be interesting to see how tonight's crowd goes. Tonight's game is probably the bigger one, so at the very least, maybe we got the good crowd out the way for the big loss.
That's what I'm thinking.
And maybe tonight will be skewed a little bit more towards Sacramento Kings.
That's what I'm
it's a
thinking.
Friday night. You're not trying to sell your season tickets if you got any. It's a perfect opportunity. It's on NBA TV, so you still get some sort of national audience. It feels like a good enough game to stay if you're a season ticket holder. Hold on to these last games.
I think the Friday thing is a big piece of this, and people, they want to be out even with a little bit of rain or shine, and see that Friday beam. So I do think it will skew. It'll obviously skew more Kings, but I don't think the Mavericks fans will come as correct as they did a couple nights ago. Well, the Giants nor the A's came correct in their home openers, as they both lost. And I'm not going to talk about why I'm so upset that the Giants lost, but the A's, they lost in a couple different ways. And there was a lot of conversation about the attendance numbers and the boycott that was right outside in the parking lot. And one of the hardest working men in Sacramento media was out there, Frankie Cardicelli, our Sactown sports insider, who beat the traffic. He's in there hanging out. He's doing his thing. Frankie, thanks for joining us.
I was there at a cool 1 o'clock, man. You know how it goes. I like to get there early and kind of get get everything set up. And it was opening day. I had to watch my Yankees play the Astros as well, which, I know you said the Giants and A's lost, but hey, the Yankees, they picked up a W yesterday.
I saw that. That's a long day for you. If you get there you got to drive there. So you're taking off at about 11:30, 12 o'clock. You got the game. I don't know. There's no way you stayed for the whole game.
No, I left. Again, parking lot was very full, so I wanted to make sure I got ahead of, by the time everybody else was making their exodus, I wanted to make sure I was on my way. So about the seventh inning, I head for the exits. But different vibe yesterday. Obviously, opening day in Oakland, not not quite like opening days of the past. And I've been to reverse boycotts before. Last year I went to a few, and it's a weird vibe. I was telling my girlfriend this morning just how it feels like you're at like a wake, but everyone at the wake is upset and like angry and like trying to kind of find a way to vent. And I think that, Chris and I and others in the Sacramento area have kind of lived this before. We've lived through the Sacramento Kings potential relocation, having to go to here we buy nights, here we stay nights. And last night was kind of a page out of that book. It felt exactly like that, being in the parking lot. Those that were in the building last night had different chants, and there weren't that many people, but it was just a very interesting night, and one that I wasn't really used to seeing, but kind of getting used to it after going to 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, Frank, I mean, I know you were inside of the game for a good portion of it, but I mean, can you try and paint a picture of what it looked like out in the parking lot? Like I saw that they had screens out there, but was it pretty much just like the world's biggest tailgate out there? I mean, were they having game? Like, just try and paint the picture. And then from the inside as well, like, could you hear what was going on the outside from inside the stadium?
Yeah, it felt like a big game if it happened. Like I've been to an A's playoff game in 2012, and the best way I could equate it to is that, like, how the parking lot is just packed full. There were speakers playing music. There was a drum line that came out and was performing for people that were there. Games were being played, multiple places you could play games like cornhole or stuff like that. And when I was inside, there was a concert that was going on. And I thought it was the concert, but I found out the concert hadn't started yet. So what I was hearing was the drum line was continuing to perform. I heard, the speakers, and it was all around the parking lot. And it wasn't like an isolated area where there's just one section of the parking lot that's just for go here. No, it was the entire Oakland Coliseum, where Oracle Arena used to be.
Wow.
It just was a mass of people that were, showcasing their displeasure in A's ownership. And it's something that was, I think, special for those that attended. And I talked to a couple of fans that mentioned that they were going to pop in and pop back out, just they wanted to go in. And, obviously for some people, it maybe would be the last time they see the A's, because a lot of people, as we know, are choosing not to go to these games because they would rather, not watch a team they've loved their whole lives and put money into John Fisher's pocket. And that's kind of where a lot of these people are and a lot of where they stand. And it was pretty similar to a lot of people that I did have a chance to speak to. They just really were adamant they will not put money into those pockets. So it was the entire parking lot, a very cool scene. And I'd imagine it won't be the last throughout the whole year. 80 more home games to go. I wonder how many more there will be, but it was a success, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see more.
Talking to Frankie Cardicelli, our Sactown sports insider, who was boots on the ground out there in Oakland for opening day for the A's. Frankie, the biggest question and most important question that we have, 13,522. That
no way.
Was the intent. Okay. I was going to ask
Absolutely not.
Okay, just ballpark it, no pun intended. What did it look like was in there?
Well, they did it last year too. I went to one last year too. And I think they tried saying for the reverse boycott there were less people, and now it's flip flopping. To me, honestly, I would say 5,000-6,000 maybe at the max. Maybe you could make an argument for 7, but I mean, they're spread out and it's different. But just kind of looking around, and I was kind of trying to even just like gauge and count groups of people and kind of just use my math, my super advanced
big
math brain. Mm-hmm. But, from someone that, we go to every Sacramento Kings game where roughly there's 17,000 to 18,000 people, there's just no way that there was that many people in the same place. Like, I definitely am used to seeing those kinds of crowds, and no, not the same. Even going to the River Cats Giants game, that seemed just way more full, way more people. So not sure who's in charge of putting that number out, but I mean, every outlet I've seen and everyone that was in attendance.
We know who's in charge.
Who's in charge? Oh, John?
It's someone connected. We know that, Frankie.
Oh, you don't want to drop any scoops, huh? So you can save those for tonight at the media table.
That's right. Frankie, before we let you go, we talk so much about the fans that obviously don't want to put money in John Fisher's pocket. We've discussed that a lot. Did you get a chance to talk to anybody that was in there? And just I'm just wondering, and to everybody listening, you can call in too. Just an A's fan that is just thinking, well, what else am I supposed to do? This is my team, and John Fisher is going to be a millionaire either way. What am I supposed to do? Did you happen to talk to anybody that was in there that just felt like, I'm just going to enjoy baseball?
Yeah, I did have a chance to talk to one man who came there with the 7-year-old son, and he mentioned that, he's been going to A's opening day games since I think he said he was 42, so he's been going to A's opening day games for like 35, 36 years, something like that. He said he started coming to those games when he was his son's age, and I can kind of reflect back to the Kings relocation saga too, because I looked at it the same way. My parents take me to games and whatnot, so. He was saying that, this might be the last opening day that there ever will be in Oakland after all this time. And he didn't want to miss out on that chance to take his son, who's 7 and probably doesn't really know what's fully going on. And I think that's completely fair for people that want to have those lasting memories with their family or their children, because it does seem like this team's going to go. And that's really sad and unfortunate. And there isn't really an easy answer. And everyone does have a specific take or, way of thinking about how to go about this. But I completely respect people that want to go about it that way. I think that he wasn't the only one that was doing it that way, and won't be the only one that continues to do so throughout this season. But as this continues to go on, and then if the A's do call Sacramento home, I'm sure there'll be a lot more interesting conversations. But I would not fault anyone at all that wants to kind of go out there and get some lasting memories with their family. It does not seem like there should be a foul on that.
A true family guy, Frankie Cardicelli. Frankie, thank you so much, our Sactown Sports Insider. Go check out all Frankie's work on SactownSports.com, and Frankie will have even more for you after the Kings game, hopefully after a Friday bean. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, guys. See you for that prime rib tonight at the media table, boy.
That's right.
Oh, yeah,
That's right. It's going to be good tonight. When we return, we continue to recap the Giants and A's. We will hear from Jung-Hoo Lee's first Korean hit for Major League Baseball, and hear the Korean broadcast on that. Also more on the A's boycott. Carmichael Dave had some things to say. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Timeshare trap and think there's no way out. Well, Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 35,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares, and they may be able to help you too. If you were misled into signing a timeshare agreement that is a lifetime commitment, if you were told a timeshare is a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you need to get the facts about timeshare cancellation. For over 10 years, Wesley Financial Group has been dedicated to helping folks get out of a lifetime of debt by canceling their timeshare. So they created a timeshare exit information kit, which reveals how the timeshare industry works and what your options are for cancellation. Simply call Wesley right now, and they will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. See how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Again, 800-761-0000.
Feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Fitty and Fiber, Dawson Oil Company, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Keegan Murray scrambles to save it. He gives it now to Barnes. 1 on the clock. Desperate 3 on the way. He scores the triple. Game tied at 121 apiece. 17 for Barnes.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hi, everyone. It's Emron Pilati, host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday at 10 a.m. Would you like a chance to meet Ricky Henderson, Dennis Rodman, Johnny Manziel, Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Dave Stewart, and our favorite Malik Monk, and meet over 90 sports card dealers all in one weekend? This is your chance to do it on May 17th through the 19th at the Roseville Fairgrounds at the Sacramento Autograph Expo. You can get all the information about the show on our website at sacautograph.expo.com. That's sacautograph.expo.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Thank you again to Frankie Cardicelli, Sactown's finest, who will be at the game tonight. The guy just never, ever stops, as it is a huge game with playoff implications, and you got to think the Kings are going to be ready to go. I know that crowd is going to be ready to go. Don't let those Maverick fans get in there. Don't let them cheer. I heard way too much cheering. They didn't even – how does Luka not get booed? How does Kyrie not get booed? How does that happen, guys? How does that happen? We have to do better. We have to be better.
Does anyone boo anymore?
Does anybody boo anymore?
No, the Kings don't like it. Kings don't like it. Don't do it.
You know what?
Don't do it. Malik doesn't like it.
I did hear a
Sabonis
couple
doesn't like
boos
it.
against.
They did. No, they booed.
But
they booed.
I think it was a specific play, though. And it was a little confusing whether the fans were booing the refs or the team.
Well, I'll tell you what, at a 36-point home loss in what many would call the most important game of your season, I, again, will say fans, if they did boo, were well in their right.
I'll tell you this much. If it gets out of hand tonight, fans are definitely booing. And that's not the vibes that we need on a Feel Good Friday. I can't have any booing on a Friday, but
that's not up to us.
It's not up to us.
That's not up to us
It's
at
not
all.
up to us. 916, and this is what happens when the Kings are now favorites. 916, Al and Cal. Mavs put the nail in our season tonight. Come on, Al. Come on, man.
They could.
Come on. Is it because they're the favorites now? I liked it a lot better when they were the underdogs. Where's that bulletin board material, Chris?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that it's all that stuff that doesn't matter today. It's all about you guys pulling it from within. Again, this is a, I feel like I've been saying it about Mike Brown this whole time, but this is one of those where Mike Brown can say all he wants. Tonight is in the hands of the players, man. They got to go out there. They got to have some pride for sure. Yeah, they can definitely change some things up. I shouldn't say it's not any of it's on Mike Brown. They can definitely switch up some defensive assignments. They can definitely, attack guys more, whatever. They can lean into other options. But at the end of the day, those guys got to go out there and they got to want it more. We've seen them have games, a few of them, not many, but we have seen a few games this season where they have been the hungrier team. I can't remember what specific game it was, but there was a game where they got every 50-50 ball. They were diving on the ground for loose balls. You've got to be hungry tonight if you want to get it. If you really, because here's the thing, we know that this team likes to play it cool. They let things roll off their back. You lose by 36. It's okay. You got a game on Friday to make it up. All that stuff. But man, at some point you gotta put all that cool stuff aside and you gotta be grimy. You gotta be dirty. You gotta just fight for it. And I would love to see that level of fight out of these guys. And we'll see if they took it personally, because this is really, that should be a loss where you look at it and you say, we just got embarrassed, man. We just straight up got embarrassed on national television. We need to show that that's not us. That is not a good representation of us. And of course, not as many people are going to be watching tonight as was on Tuesday, but that still doesn't mean you can't go out there and show a message at the least to Dallas and say, hey man, y'all better, we're tied again. Okay. So if we win tonight, we're all tied. We're all squared up. We want to show you guys that you guys are going to have to be on your P's and Q's if you want to earn that playoff spot, because we're not just going to let one blowout completely derail our season. We're here to fight and we're here to really make some noise. So, it all starts tonight. And I think it starts with the players' attitude towards this game. They've got to have some pride and go out there and not get punked again.
Chris is giving me chills right now. And after seeing this from 916 from Al and Cal, this is what we're doing before shout outs and closeouts at 1:45. Be sure to get your shout outs in on the text line, call line, or the Sack Chat. 1:45, we're going to get the music bed going. And, we talked about my freestyle
one shot
and how I choked. I'm going to give a pump up speech to all the Kings fans listening and all the Kings listening. 1:45 off the top of the dome. I don't know what's coming out. That's 1:45.
Okay.
You don't want to miss that. We'll get the inspirational music going. You don't want to miss that. We're going to make you feel good on this Friday and get that beam. That's 1:45 before shout outs and closeouts. Let's hear from the Korean broadcast with Jung-Hoo Lee, and he gets his first hit. And I don't know, Chris, if you saw the clip of it, his family up there.
Yeah, that was
really
awesome.
great scene.
Yeah.
At that point, the Giants were winning.
Yeah, they were.
Everything was great.
Everything was great.
Everything was great. And then it went off the rails, but a really cool call. Let's hear it right now.
알아보고 있어요, 지금. 자, 이정우의 세터 쪽에 이정우! 메이저리그의 새로운 바람이 불어옵니다. 이정우의 빙일 데뷔 첫 번째 안타입니다.
3세번이나 오는데 드디어 나왔어요. 자, 공 줘야죠. 예.
That's great.
I know. I was like, I need that. We just need that level of excitement.
That was a single, by the way.
Single.
That was for a single, by the way.
Do you guys just want to do, I don't know, maybe an hour next week of all just plays in different languages?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's always great to just hear things said differently, and the energy that they have is crazy.
I think a big part of it is your imagination too. Just runs wild, because if you don't know what they're saying, you're like, oh, this is. You're feeling the emotion raw.
Right. I definitely, I know it's his first major league hit, but I definitely would have thought that was a double.
At the very
least.
I
would have thought home run. Yeah.
like a ninth inning, man backs against the wall and they get a nice little double. That was that kind of energy, but it was a great hit too. You know, I think he got an RBI. I know he had an RBI opportunity later in the game. I can't remember if he ended up executing it, but it seemed like a pretty, you know, all intents and purposes. I know there was a lot of questions about how he would make the adjustment to MLB.
Yeah, it was an RBI. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI.
There we go. Yeah. So, you know, it was a really big moment for him. And, you know, we talked a little bit in the pre-show. There's nothing quite like, you know, a MLB debut. Nobody really you know, builds up the pageantry like MLB does. You know, like you said, you had Jung Hoo Lee's family out in the crowd as well. You got to see them react to his first career hit. It was an awesome moment. And unfortunately, like you said, the Giants kind of smoked it the rest of the way, but it was at the moment, it seemed like a really, really cool moment and something that would be remembered for a long time.
Definitely thought that the Giants were going to be able to pull it off. I'm not a huge believer in the Padres. Don't let Kyle Ledbetter hear that, but I still feel good about the Giants. I still feel good about my 89 win projection, but go ahead and start winning some games now. It's okay. You can start winning some games now.
How long did it take Giants fans to start freaking out yesterday?
Oh, the 7 innings.
Yeah.
7 innings.
Is that a record? Is that
that's pretty much on brand.
Right.
It's on brand, and Giants fans are now saying we stink again.
That's right.
We hate this.
Wasted money, right?
Exactly. What a waste of time. I'm trying to see, you know, in Elon's Twitter, I'm trying to confirm, but I'm seeing people. I'm not seeing it from the Susan Slussers of the world yet, but I'm seeing that I believe Yaz is out on a paternity leave, and now Luis Matos has been recalled to the big leagues.
Really?
But I'm still not seeing it from the major accounts.
Right.
The Alex Pavlovich is not yet, so don't want to fully report, but I am seeing rumblings, and yeah, there's nothing official yet, so I don't know if people are just assuming, but it feels like something might happen, and people are saying someone's getting Wally pipped, and Luis Matos is going to be able to stay up there. When we return, why did I get in trouble with some people about feeling bad for professional athletes? Also, Brandon Ayuk speaks about his contract. Then we get back to Kings Talk, getting you ready, and we have Prop Talk and Dog segment. It's time to get back on a heater. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
See, we are such a listeners show and station. As we got on the text line, I love when you guys play sober when you come back from break. What do you get as we come back from break? 209. You get what you ask for. That's what we just try to do. We try on a feel good Friday.
We're not an FM, so don't just come, flooding the inbox with requests. But every so often we can oblige.
I know some people. We'll figure it out.
I just don't want our entire chat to just be, hey, play this song when you guys come play.
Hey,
yeah,
it's fine every so.
We'll pick some of them.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll pick some of them, and especially if they're my twin, Childish Gambino.
Right. You guys don't look alike at all.
So I got
I'm sure
another
he gets
one.
that one more than
I got a random dude. Okay, I got a random dude. Well, actually, Chris, there are a couple here. Hold on. That I've gotten in the last couple days. No. And
Morris Chestnut. Denzel.
No. Actually, this one is gonna make you laugh because this one people do think this guy is pretty good looking.
Okay.
So he's been in a lot of stuff. Trevante Rhodes.
I don't think so.
So he's been in a ton. He most recently in Mea Culpa on Netflix. He was in Moonlight. He was Mike in that movie about Mike Tyson. You know him if you saw him. He was in Bird Box as well. I got him, and he's a pretty.
You guys have beards.
We do have beards,
dude. You guys don't.
Yeah, you're wilding.
Yeah. I didn't check. It's not me. It's social media. It's not me.
No, man, I'm out on that. I just don't think you look like him.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know who your lookalike is.
I see a picture of this man with like an 8-pack in the shower for some reason on Google. So
he's got a beard.
That's not. Yeah, he does have a beard. He does have a beard.
So, and like I said, somebody tagged me and they said, Alan, you were great in Mea Culpa. That's what they said. It's not me saying it.
That's crazy.
Then
I was told I was great in Equalizer too.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
I was thinking of the Equalizer show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Queen Law.
Yeah. I was
someone told me I looked like Queen Latifah before. Yeah. I took it as a compliment. I guess not.
Then I got one. It was a tiny desk, and it's just somebody,
some dude in
the background, some dude in the background of Big Sean's tiny desk also had a beard.
That's just like why are you so obsessed?
And they tagged me on Twitter. They said, "What Styles Files doing singing background for Big Sean?" This is getting out of control now.
Oh, see the guy on the keyboard?
No, he's got a cowboy hat on. Look at this.
I can't wait to see you at country. Oh my God.
Okay. Normally I would say no. I would just say, stop. Alan, he just has a beard.
No.
That is Alan Styles with a cowboy hat on.
No,
and
you're
like
not gonna not
10K of jewelry.
No, you're not gonna not.
That
give
is
me,
crazy.
That is,
I'm doing an enhance right now. That's Alan Styles.
That's Alan Styles with a cowboy hat.
No,
he heard the Beyonce album a week early.
No,
and
come on now.
That's Alan Styles.
You can't not give me Trevante Rhodes and give me this dude. That is messed up. That's messed up, man.
Hey, man. Why don't you like that one?
I'll take him all.
Good-looking guy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. But of course. All right, I got in trouble yesterday, guys, and I'm going to read the tweet off as, by the way, pull back the curtain. Brendan Nunes has been in here for the
Brendan,
last
just turn on your mic.
segments.
Just get it. Yeah,
it's
Friday,
and
bro.
now he's cracking
It's Friday.
up.
I'm just buying time in here.
He's just buying time, getting ready for the game.
It looks just like you, Alan.
All right,
It's weird.
Turn your mic
that
back
looks
off.
just like you.
Him in a trench coat and a cowboy hat.
That's cool. Now I have my Halloween outfit.
Yeah. Oh, you guys don't know who I am? I'm the guy in the background of Big Sean's tiny desk.
Yeah, come on, here you go. Here's the picture.
You guys don't know who I am?
Here's the picture. So last night, as everything was going down with the A's, I thought about how empty everything was. Right. And how, were there 13,000? Were there not? And it got to the point where I started to think about the players a little bit.
Right.
And how I'm sure there was at least somebody's. Oh, I know the Giants, somebody had a debut for the Giants and a relief pitcher. It got to the point where I just thought about the fact that nobody is talking about the players and how depressing this must be to have opening day at home and there's nobody in there. And I know media has talked to the athletes and they understand, they're not mad at the fans, but I'm not saying that they're mad at them.
Right.
I'm just saying it's kind of a rough situation. So this was my tweet. I know professional athletes live pretty awesome lives, but in this situation, I don't think we talk enough about how brutal this has to be for the A's players. They had dreams of making the big leagues from the time they were little kids, and they don't deserve this. And I did get a decent amount of love, but there are people with violins saying, poor guys. There are people saying, let's see, so brutal making 7-figure salary playing baseball. So brutal. Other people saying they got road games. They're fine. Basically just people saying that it was pretty split, but there are definitely a good amount of people. Someone said, as long as the paychecks don't bounce, they are in the big leagues. Everyone has dreams, and a lot of people don't deserve their employment situations. May we all have such problems as not enough people cheering for us. So it's a lot of sarcasm, and I know there will always be people that are sarcastic when it comes to players making a lot of money. And let's be fair here. The A's players, yeah, they're making a lot of money, but they're not making, the crazy money. Where are you with this? Am I out of pocket for feeling bad for professional athletes in this specific situation?
I don't think so. I would definitely be more on your side. I mean, I totally understand the reason why they're not having a ton of fans out watching their games, but that doesn't change the fact that the players didn't have any say in any of this. They're just out here trying to make a living. They're trying to make their lives. And yeah, sure, somebody pointed out, yeah, not everybody's work situation is perfect, but these guys have worked their tails off to even get to the spot of where they're at now. I'm sure none of those A's players would even say we've made it to where we want. This is just the beginning of the road for those guys. And, it's as little ceremony as possible. Like, that should be a really big moment. We just talked about Jung-Hoo Lee. He had his whole squad out there in the stands, being able to watch him. They're high-fiving with other Giants fans, enjoying, hey, this is a really cool family that we're about to be a part of. And if you're a member of the A's, I mean, again, we understand it has nothing to do with them, but if you're having your debut, your family comes out, you see that, my son's been thinking about this moment his entire life. It definitely didn't look like this in our dreams. And I mean, it's just tough, man. It's a really tough situation where the players are essentially being, what is the saying? The son pays for the father of his, the sins of his father.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like the players are having to live with the consequences of something that they had no say in at all. And it's just, it still is unfortunate. And this is one of those situations where, why can't two things be true? Why can't it be said that the A's can't, or these A's players can't play in front of a crowd for their debuts and have this awesome moment for them? But it's also true that those fans, rightfully so, aren't in that building. Both things can be true. It doesn't have to be forget about the players' emotions. This is bigger than them. Like, no, like they're people too, and they deserve the same kind of love and admiration that, any Yankees do as well.
Yeah. And in that regard, they worked their tails off to get where they got to.
Man.
They didn't just wake up and they were in the big league. So if everybody else,
years of work,
right? If everybody else gets to enjoy the big crowds and opening day, it's unfortunate that they don't get to. That was their home opener. That whoever they lost to, they're still going to have a home opener. This was the A's home opener. They had the Guardians. I can guarantee you the Guardians are going to go back to Cleveland. That place is going to be
party.
Rocking.
Yeah.
So they're fine with it, and they probably feel bad as well. That's how the A's started out the season, and I get why it happened that way. It's just something that I hadn't really thought about. And when I'm watching and seeing everybody just,
are you trying to say Twitter turned that into a negative spin?
Of course.
What?
Of course. That's just how it is these days. When we return, Brandon Ayuk had some things to say. Also, it's time for Prop Talk and Dog segment. And don't miss 145.
That's right.
We're getting you pumped up. This is off the top of the dome pump-up speech for the Kings to take down the Mavericks. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
We are down to the final 10 games of the NBA's regular season, each one sharing in its importance, but tonight feels massive as the Kings host the Dallas Mavericks.
One dribble only, hands it off to Fox. Great pass inside, and a twisting reverse is scored by Davion Mitchell.
Sacramento looks to take the season series and own the tiebreaker against the Mavs. Tip-off tonight at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. If you're an entrepreneur with a vehicle fleet, I'll tell you that outfitting your van fleet with Mercedes-Benz vans is a very smart business move. Here's why. If you use it for business, you'll likely qualify for substantial tax breaks. Plus, they're rugged, sophisticated cargo haulers that you will love driving. You'll also love the way these things look with your company logo on them. And finally, it is Mercedes Madness season. That's right. Rates are available starting at 4.9% APR. Choose from any of 60 vans available right now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton's Commercial Fleet Center next to their stunning new showroom. These folks wrote the book on what true customer service looks like. I'm a car and truck enthusiast, and I mean it when I tell you that the customer service you can expect at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best. Go see their beautiful new Mercedes showroom just a half hour from SAC, right off I-5, online as well at mbofstockton.com.
I just can't control my feet.
Coming to the venue at Thunder Valley, March 30th, World One presents The Jacksons with Sister Sledge. Tickets available now at the Thunder Valley box office, Ticketmaster.com, and world1presents.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Be listening to Sactown Sports each Friday morning for the Rivercats Weekend Report with team updates and everything you'll want to know about the next exciting Rivercats homestand. Let's go, Rivercats!
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-906-5382. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-906-5382 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-906-5382. 800-906-5382. 800-906-5382.
The weather's warming up, spring is here, and so is road trip season. And if you're saying, yeah, sure, I would love to load everything up in my car and hit the road and go on a long road trip, but I don't trust my car. It's not dependable. Well, then go see my friends at Elk Grove Kia. They'll get you into something dependable and super affordable, like a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for $19,988. Yep, at a time when the average new car price is over $48,000, Elk Grove Kia can get you into a brand new car for less than half of that. This car's loaded with automatic transmission, an 8-inch touchscreen with rear camera. It's got advanced driver assistance system, so it's got tech and safety. And again, this brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS can be yours for only $19,988. Only at the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer, Elk Grove Kia, in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, and online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia sale price, $20,738. Kia rebate, $750. Net price, $19,988. One at this price. Stock number GK9219. Expires March 31st, 2024.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg at the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast includes some unsettled conditions. Late afternoon, we have steadier rain moving through the area with occasional gusty winds and highs in the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the
When it breaks,
We have it first.
it's Sactown Sports Breaking News.
We have breaking news from Woj, a true Woj bomb. And Sacramento Kings guard Kevin Huerter will undergo season-ending left shoulder surgery to repair a torn labrum. And Huerter is expected to be fully recovered for the start of the 2024-2025 season. I repeat, Kevin Huerter is out for the rest of the season. He tore his labrum and will be out for the rest of the season. And because of that, Brendan Nunez is joining us, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, to get his reactions from that, your reactions, 916-339-1140. Could this be the last time we see Kevin Huerter in a Kings uniform? Again, Woj bomb, the Kings guard, Kevin Huerter will undergo season-ending left shoulder surgery. He ended up tearing his labrum. And that was told to ESPN that just dropped. Guys, where do we even start?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I guess this is, obviously it is breaking news, but I think we were all kind of moving like we thought this was going to be the case anyway. So in that sense, it is, it's never good to hear somebody's out for the season, but we've at least kind of been preparing for this. It's also great. I mean, obviously Keon Ellis has stepped up majorly with Kevin out, and it's kind of shifted how this team has played here recently. But on the Kevin Huerter front, it is really disappointing. I talked about it, on the post-game live stream after it happened. I just really felt in my heart of hearts that Kevin Huerter was going to have a moment where all of the inconsistency throughout this year, I just felt truly that there was going to be a moment in the playoffs, maybe even on this stretch right here, where Kevin Huerter was going to have that redemption arc. He was going to have his moment where he hits big threes. He maybe stepped up big in a playoff game, maybe even won the Kings a playoff game. It's just really disappointing that it feels like this is about as bad of a season as you could have imagined from Kevin Huerter. And this is really just kind of the cherry on top of what has just been probably his most frustrating year of his career.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Kings do have to kind of play differently now. And I think that we've been seeing that they're more of a defensive team, I guess. And that just has to do with the simple Keon Ellis in place of Kevin Huerter. I'm with you, Chris. I thought that Kevin probably would have got rolling at some point. He's a guy that can win you a quarter in a playoff series, and that matters.
That's
the same way we talk about Sasha being a potential X factor. I feel even better about Kevin having potentially been that. But with Keon in the starting lineup, 5 games now, Kings only give up 106 points, 106.6, but they only score 107.6. So there's been defensive progress, but I think you felt it a little bit offensively as well. Like Kevin moves really well off the ball. He is going to get treated as an elite shooter in the way that Keon is still not right now. I think that Keon is just a straight up good 3-point shooter, but he's not going to get that respect from defenses. And you're seeing teams pack the paint and turn the Kings over because of things like that. So it's definitely a loss. I think that people have been clamoring for Keon to move into that starting spot. I get it. That doesn't mean you don't want Kevin on your bench.
Right.
Like, this is a big depth loss for the Kings.
I heard you ask Mike Brown actually that the other day. I can't remember if it was at practice or after the game. First off, can you fill the people in on what he said? And then what did you think of how he answered your question?
Yeah, he did end with that isn't the reason we lost the game.
He did say that
against Dallas, of not
Huerter,
having Kevin
Trey,
out
and
there.
Sasha weren't the reasons why we lost.
Yeah, and he just doesn't want to make any excuses. He said the same thing of 5 games and 7 nights, but that primarily the pace is really what he mentioned that Kevin provides. I think they have slowed down a little bit recently. In the open court, Kevin does a great job sprinting to the corners. If you're not the guy with the ball, no matter who you are, unless you're Domas, really, I guess, sprint to the corners. And I think Kevin does a great job of that. And you look in the half court, there's still times where Keon looks a little understandably confused in a rookie way that's very expected and I think reasonable. But Kevin wasn't like that. Kevin was sprinting through his actions. Think of how quick he comes off those dribble handoffs with Sabonis. Yeah. Or if somebody's, people would get on Buddy Hield all the time of you're getting guarded this way, you never back cut. Kevin back cut a lot, and he was very good at it. So I think the pace and that spacing is the 2 biggest things that they'll really feel the miss there.
Do you think that it speaks to, again, going deeper than how many points that Kevin was scoring? Because if you do, Keon versus Kevin and the amount of points that Kevin wasn't scoring a lot. And we sat there and said, if he's not scoring, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. But even for the amount to be lower, I think that speaks to the fact that there is that gravity, and I know a lot of people are probably tired of that term, but there is that gravity that Kevin has that Keon does not have.
Yeah, it's just how it is. And maybe Keon will get to the point where he has that kind of respect. I do think that he's a good shooter, but I don't think we'll get there until after the postseason. I think teams are going to be fine. And we were talking to him about it at Shoot Around today. He knows he's the guy that teams are okay with, willing to let him beat them. And how that's been a little bit of an adjustment for him. And that's not going to be the case with Kevin Huerter. Sure, he's below De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, but you don't just want to let that guy try to beat you necessarily. We've seen what he did in Ben Simmons' last game in Philly, So I think that there definitely is an aspect there of you just have to change your style a little bit. And the spacing is important even when shots are not going down. I think it's easy to overlook that last year, a big reason this team made as much growth as it did and being the best offense in the league was because you got De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis shooters.
Right.
You got him Kevin Huerter. You traded for you signed Malik Monk, traded for Kevin Huerter, and drafted Keegan Murray. And that gave all the spacing those guys would need. And so now you have even more responsibility on these other guys. You can't survive a bad Malik Monk game. He's had really bad three bad games, and you won the first one in Orlando because Keon did well. And you won the one in Philly or against Philly because Davion did well.
I'm looking here, and I know Kevin Huerter is bigger and longer than maybe you would expect that 6'7" frame, but I'm just sitting here trying to figure out, guys, why can't Chris Duarte be some version of Kevin Huerter? He can hit the three ball. He's probably shot the three ball about as well as Kevin Huerter has this season. What is missing in his game that is preventing him from being a version of Kevin Huerter? He plays better defense, I'd say. What is preventing him from providing what we're missing with Kevin Huerter? Is it not knowing the offense as well? What is it?
I'd say Kevin plays within himself better. And that flow of, playing in the 0.5 offense, I guess is where I would go with this. And that's making decisions in 0.5 seconds. You want to De'Aaron or Domas or Malik are going to create the advantage, and it's on the other guys to maintain it. And if you just take half a second too long, the advantage can be gone. And I think that Chris can do that a little bit more than Kevin can at times. And the shot's not the same. Kevin is an elite 3-point shooter. Chris has his moments, and I think
he shoots like he's an elite 3-point shooter.
He does, which is part of the conversation, right?
So did J.R. Smith. So did Dion Waiters.
Yeah, there's a handful of these for sure. But yeah, I think that those are, I guess, the big differences is there's a consistency. What you're getting every single night when you put Kevin Huerter out there on both ends, to be honest. And I think, Chris, there's still more variance.
By the way, real quick, if you're just tuning in now, breaking news, Kevin Huerter is out for the season to repair a torn labrum. He will have surgery, sources tell Woj. A Woj bomb here on a Friday before the Kings' biggest regular season game of the season. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts, Brendan, on I think the one thing that we don't really talk about enough with Kevin Huerter, especially come playoff time, it was a bigger talking point then. And you just mentioned the Ben Simmons game, game 7, Kevin Huerter, which is what we were all excited for when Kevin got here. One thing Kevin Huerter brings that you cannot replace with anybody is playoff experience. And this team does not have a wealth of it. It really was Kevin Huerter, who had been to the conference finals with Atlanta. You had HB, who young in his career reached the finals with Golden State. Now you have JaVale, who doesn't really get minutes. But in terms of guys who have played real minutes, that's another guy who's now not playing for you that had at least, if this team is going to make the second round, which, at this point looks a little far-fetched, but Kevin was going to be a guy that you could lean on and say, come playoff time, this is a guy who's been here, done that. This shouldn't be a lot to him. And now you walk in and you have Keon Ellis, a guy who is, I don't even know if he's started 15 games in his career, and you're about to throw him out to go start the most important games of this run so far.
Yeah, I think Kevin did have some inconsistencies throughout his postseason, but there's that big series that he had against Philly for sure. Yeah. And he's been there. Like you said, there's value in that because there's very few guys on this team. And I guess the other one I would point to is Mike Brown, obviously.
Right. Yeah,
I guess he's a big aspect, but it's different when it comes from the guys on the floor, right? Mike talks about that all the time. I think the big way that you feel it is the fact that it's Keon specifically replacing it. Like you said, this is a guy that if we came into the year and we were saying that Keon Ellis is about to start in the postseason,
and there's not really another option either.
Nobody would feel good about that.
Yeah.
Like, this is a guy that was on a two-way at the beginning of the year, and everybody's like, oh, why wasn't he getting minutes? Why wasn't he getting minutes? This was there the whole time, because there still are inconsistencies. You know, there's those
we've
moments
seen it here recently.
There's the looking back against Jalen Brunson. Kyrie did okay against him. I think he held his own against Kyrie, but Kyrie got him a little bit. Like I said, you see these typical, acceptable, understandable rookie mistakes. Those are a lot harder to live with in the postseason.
Exactly.
And so, you know, if that Jalen Brunson moves happens in Eastern Conference team, say that happens at the end of a playoff game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just
nightmare.
something you cannot do in the NBA. You can't turn and take your head off the ball. You got to trust the guys behind you are going to be talking.
Right.
You know?
And that just speaks to the swing and misses from this offseason. With I know I mentioned Duarte because that's the guy. We were clamoring for Duarte and trying to get him in a situation where maybe he could start or be one of the starters, and that didn't turn out. Now, not that we don't want to see him, but a lot of the times you're just hoping that he does something positive on the floor, and maybe he turns things around. He's going to have opportunity. Yeah. You got Keon Ellis, and look, we've also seen that. Mike Brown will tell you straight up. He's told us about Keon and his growth. You're going to see Davion Mitchell. This isn't just going to be the Keon show. So Davion, hot game a couple games ago. This is going to be by committee, and it is just so interesting how even though Kevin Huerter wasn't really scoring the basketball, you do see the difference, and you do see how teams are defending, even if it's Luka being able to chill just a little bit more because, hey, if Keon Ellis beats us tonight, Keon put up 10, right? He put up 10, and the Kings lost by 36. Yeah. So there's a problem there, and there's going to be more pressure on Malik Monk. We will continue breaking all this down. Sorry, you'll have to wait till next time for the pump-up speech as we continue to break down the breaking news of Kevin Huerter being out for the rest of the season. And we ask the tough question, is this the last time we will see Kevin Huerter in a Kings uniform? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Tuesday, the Kings got worked by the Dallas Mavericks. Tonight, Sacramento looks for some payback.
Pressure against Luka on a double-team blitz. Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand. Kings fans elated. Sacramento on top.
Join us on Sactown Sports for the Kings and Mavericks in a big-time battle in the Western Conference. Get all the action starting at 7 on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's going on for Dodge Power Shot Days?
A special sale on the very last of the new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challengers with savings up to $12,000 off MSRP. That means you can save up to 33% on some classic American muscle, starting as low as $24,520. And don't miss your chance to own a piece of history with the very last of the V8 Scat Packs.
Wow, up to 33% off. Hey, that seems impossible.
We do things a little different here at Hoblet. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or fees. At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
There's no better time to take advantage of this savings at Hoblet. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
12,000 total net savings after 6330 factory rebates and 5580 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible First Responder Association and California resident. 20th net savings. See dealer for details.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service flawless execution, training, and customer service. We're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Emran Pilati, host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday at 10 a.m. Would you like a chance to meet Ricky Henderson, Dennis Rodman, Johnny Manziel, Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Dave Stewart, and our favorite Malik Monk, and meet over 90 sports card dealers all in one weekend? This is your chance to do it on May 17th through the 19th at the Roseville Fairgrounds at the Sacramento Autograph Expo. You can get all the information about the show on our website at sacautograph.expo.com. That's sacautograph.expo.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Fitty and Fiber, Dawson Oil Company, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Maida Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado LT and RST half-ton diesel in stock after rebates. A Maida Chevy exclusive.
See all the truck season savings at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/24.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Breaking news, if you are just now joining us, we were joined by Brendan Nunez, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, to break it all down and what this means for the Kings. I think a lot of us saw this coming, but it is now official. According to Woj, Kevin Huerter out for the season with a torn labrum. He will get surgery on his left shoulder. And not great when these things break. It's always tough, but the Kings, they got to find a way to move forward, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Chris, we're going to obviously do a lot of conversation on this during the summer once the season is over. But your initial thoughts, that play in that game, was that the last time you saw Kevin Huerter, or you will see Kevin Huerter in a Kings uniform?
Yeah, it sucks to have this conversation, like with it being how it ended. It does feel like there's a really good chance that is a possibility for sure. I mean, it feels like that's the way that things probably would be trending. Of course, things can change. I mean, like we were just talking with Brendan, I think if Keon Ellis does start to show some rookie moments in the playoffs, maybe that makes the Kings a little bit more hesitant to move on from a guy like Kevin Huerter. Maybe, we've talked about all season long how Mike Brown loves to have Huerter in that starting spot. And regardless of Malik Monk's offseason negotiations, maybe Mike Brown still is going to say, I just really like having Kevin in that starting lineup and having Malik come off the bench. Maybe you could argue there's there's more than one Kevin Huerter out there, or a guy who does what Kevin Huerter does. But I mean, not to, I feel like I've been tap dancing around it. If I had to give a definitive, I would say more than likely, yeah. I would say that it feels like Kevin and HB were always the two contracts that the Kings were going to try and parlay into something bigger. We don't know if it's going to be, the Jeremy Grant, Kyle Kuzma thing, or what it's going to be. Maybe they'll just try and get different pieces. But it feels like those are the two guys that are most likely to go. And with the emergence of Keon Ellis and us being, I think, believers in that there's something there, I think Kevin's probably going to be the first one on that block. And just, again, how things have gone this year, the inconsistency and how it felt like Kevin's inconsistency might have directly led to a lot of the Kings' inconsistency. I could see how that would be one of the first things you're going to look up and say, maybe we can switch things up and try and get a different body in there. So long way of saying, yeah, if you were to ask me and were to say which side I'm leaning more towards, it'd probably be that was the last time we've seen Kevin.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee, though.
Right.
I'm not 100%.
The 209 is saying maybe we'll see some more Colby Jones.
That's another option for sure.
They like Colby Jones more than Chris Duarte. I know Colby Jones got some time earlier this season. Yeah, and obviously we're hoping the best and well wishes for Kevin Huerter. I think for me, I don't know how much it has to do with Keon Ellis. I mean, Keon Ellis emerged in part due to injury, but he had hung around a bit beforehand, right? And he had made his way up. You had Chris Duarte start for Kevin Huerter. He lost his spot at some point. So whether we want Keon to do well, but I don't even know.
I just think it massages that decision even more.
Exactly.
It makes that decision a lot easier.
But I don't even know if they want, in a perfect world for the Kings, Keon is not starting next season.
Maybe.
I don't
Maybe he's their Thabo Cephalosha.
But I'm thinking they're trying to take some big swings. Maybe other positions.
Right.
That's where Harrison Barnes will have that conversation. Somewhere they're going to upgrade.
Yeah.
And if Keon is in that starting lineup, then they've probably upgraded somewhere else.
Yes.
They're not going to roll out that starting lineup with Keon in place of Kevin Huerter next season.
Mm-hmm.
I feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah.
And you never got to, a couple games, but you never really got to see Kevin Huerter off the bench. Could that be a look or something that you look into? I do feel it's really hard. We like to take it to real life here. If somebody was, and this actually happened to me at one of my past jobs prior to the media industry, somebody came in, he was a vice president, and he continued to lose his team kept getting smaller.
Mm-hmm.
His responsibilities kept getting smaller, but he still had the vice president title. And people start looking at you kind of funny. And to be a starter, and now you're coming off the bench, you're still getting paid a decent chunk of change. And it's just kind of hard to go backwards.
Right. Yes.
It's really hard to go
especially
backwards.
when you're 27, 28 years
exactly.
old. Exactly.
And I won't, you can fill in the blank on how that situation ended. You go to a different company.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it ended. And that's probably what's going to happen with Kevin Huerter, unless they think, hey, maybe Kevin can get hot. Maybe it was a down year.
Right.
And we think that the Kevin Huerter from the 2023 season is more of the guy than the guy from the 2024 season.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell, though, because if you do look at the numbers, 2023 he just balled. He just balled out of control. And either you sell yourself on it or you have to sell another team on it and make that trade happen.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I still think Kevin has potential to be a starter in this league. I think he's a lot more of the guy last year than he was this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a shooter. There's no question about that. I think sometimes, you have down years, and, if a down Kevin Huerter year is 36%, that's a lot better than most guys. So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Kevin Huerter stay either. I still think he provides a lot. This team was really fun to watch last year, and they had Kevin Huerter out there, so there's no reason for me to say they couldn't return to that. But no, yeah, absolutely. I think that it'd probably be in everybody's best nature to kind of do a fresh start with everybody. I think, Kevin has been great here. Phenomenal. He coined the Beam team name.
Somebody said them on the Sack chat.
He has been a great locker room guy. Everybody loves Kevin. And I'm sure they would definitely feel the impact if he were to go. But with this season not being a step in the right direction for him, it was definitely a step back. coming back from injury with all of these questions that we just outlined, he would have to fight for his spot, it sounds like, even if he were to come back. I just think there's probably a better situation where he can kind of look at it as another fresh start, because he is still really young in his career. And as a shooter, you're going to have a job in this league for as long as you want.
Monty McNair is in a really tough position, and this could have happened either way. Harrison Barnes is much safer to move because we know what Harrison Barnes is. Yeah. If you do move off of Kevin Huerter and he does ball out, and whoever you get him for, unless it's a big splash, right? And if you do move off of him and Kevin returns back to who he was last season, now Monty's going to say you're darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Exactly.
That's why I think he's only going to get moved as much as I think he's going to get moved. And I was the guy who didn't think they were doing anything at the trade deadline. I do think he will get, as much as I think he will get moved, if the price isn't right and you get somebody who's only comparable to Kevin, and then someone has a better season. Now it looks even worse.
Right. No, absolutely.
So it has to be as much as
for a big move.
It's got to be a big move. And if it's not available, I don't think it's crazy to see Kevin back.
Yeah, no, but I think that things are definitely leaning more towards them making that big move.
Yes.
Kevin and HB's contract equal about $30 million. That's right in the wheelhouse of getting a guy who's probably going to be a difference maker, and there's not really any other way they can go get that guy.
Which may require you to overpay. Which may require you to overpay. All right, Drive Guys are up next. They're continuing to break this whole thing down, taking you up to Kings Mavericks. Huge game tonight. Well wishes to Kevin Huerter. They will break everything down for you. Kyle Draper and Whitey Gleason. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you for Brendan, who hopped on. Thank you to Frankie, who hopped on. Thank you to Nate for doing his thing as always. Until Monday, secure the bag, light the Friday beam.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of